it's not realistic. It's an unrealistic depiction of women's bodies, but actually, no, it's literally modeled after a real woman.
Yeah, it's I stayed away from it for a minute because it was all controversy, but I heard a lot of good reviews that as a game, like once you get past all the bullshit as a game, it's a fun game. And I'm about 6-ish hours into it, I think, and 8 hours actually. Wow. It is good. So it's a solid action style game. Really, really having a good time with it. So it's been great. How about yourself? How's the weekend going? Or how was the weekend? It's Monday morning now.
Yeah, we went to Legoland on Saturday, and then it was we just did a family get together with relatives yesterday, so it was great.
Nice.
Had a very good weekend. Hey everybody, welcome to the Greg and Despot Show, episode 13. We got Vex Electronica coming on, but I think she's going to be a little late, so that's all right. We'll just talk shite for a while. We're going to be covering Spider-Man, the Odyssey, and Doomsday, which we almost forgot about. Seriously, me and Greg were going back and forth on topics, and I was brainstorming, what the fuck are we going to talk about? And then Greg, after several messages, said, "Oh, hey, what about Doomsday?" And I thought, "Oh yeah, Doomsday. I forgot that was coming out because it's such a forgettable piece of shit." Hold on, here's Vex. How's it going, Vex?
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I'm good. How about you? How are you both doing?
Jesus,
very well, thank you.
That picture is fantastic.
Good, isn't it?
I was typing, that caught me off guard.
Hold on, I got a better one for you, Greg. Here you go.
Oh, you need to get the PETA lobster.
Oh, I saw pictures of that floating on Twitter the other day. I didn't save that. I'll have to though.
That's that was. I feel like I don't know if it's just at this point PETA's just trolling everybody or what, but I appreciate their contribution to the monoculture, letting everybody know that for all of our differences, we think the same things. We all thought the same shit when we saw that PETA lobster.
They know how to get traction online, so I'll give them that.
I have to start with this because I fucking love this headline. This is from The Guardian. All right. Go woke, get rich. Why right-wing hate campaigns attack the box office after a bigoted online backlash led by Elon Musk. The Odyssey achieved a monster weekend. The latest example of a targeted takedown that didn't work. So I just love that too much. I had to share that. God, I love The Guardian, man. Great value for money.
I didn't know that Elon Musk was the leader of the campaign against the Odyssey.
I didn't even know there was a campaign.
Yeah, that too.
I just thought it was people giving their honest opinions about how bad it looked online. But yeah, me and Greg we're gonna eat our L's about the box office. We were wrong about that. It did make a lot of money, but we also predicted that it would be shit, and it seems that we're right about that. I haven't seen it. It's not out in my country. Well, it's not out in South Korea yet, where I live. But Greg's seen it, and he says it's shit. So I'll take his word for it.
Yep, it was.
We were half right. We were half right.
It insists upon itself. I predicted. Well, at first I predicted 450. And then somebody pointed out that the IMAXs were sold out and shit. I was like, all right, I'll up it to 550. That shit blew past 450 in the first weekend. Oh my God. I've been wrong before, but this isn't even wrong. This is it's hilarious. Laugh at me. It's fine, because when you're that wrong, you just got to roll with it.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I think I said, well, it'll probably do 650, but yeah. I'm not making any excuses. I'll take the fucking L. It's not like, oh well, fucking I was right about this. No, I was wrong. Fair play to Christopher Nolan for skull fucking us all on the box office. Well done. Congratulations. Yeah.
Are the regular screenings still empty near you, Greg? Because I noticed that for us in the Panhandle, it was the regular seatings were still the screenings were all empty. It's just the IMAX that had been sold out.
I went and saw it the weekend it came out, and on that Saturday, it was a pretty full theater. And it was I think, when did we go? It was 11 or 12 or something. So middle of the day, Saturday, it was pretty full. Okay. Most of the showings because I buy my stuff on an app with the Marcus theaters around here, and they a lot of it looked pretty full. I have no reason to believe that they're faking it or anything, but I am shocked because the culture shit aside, when I saw that trailer, I thought, nobody's going to go, like, this is just not a good trailer. It's not exciting. The Oppenheimer trailer got me excited to see Oppenheimer. There are a lot of trailers that make me think, fuck yeah, I got to go see that movie. The Odyssey trailer just looked dull. And I thought, wow, this is just not going to draw the crowds. And I was as wrong as you can get on that one.
I'm never going to watch it. I've already pledged like that I haven't read the original Iliad or Odyssey stories, so there's that factor. But also, I just don't care for Christopher Nolan as a filmmaker anymore. He's a competent director, but I don't really trust him for writing, and he wrote this, unfortunately. So I'm steering clear. I can save those 3 hours for something else.
Greg, does the Odyssey contain a scene in which two women talk to each other?
Are you asking if it passes the Bechdel test?
No, I'm just asking if it passes the just women talking to each other test for any reason.
Come to think of it, no, I don't.
Because I don't believe it does. I'm doing my Nolan video at the minute, and I finished the script except for the Odyssey, started editing it. And one thing I noticed, I was thinking about, because I was writing my concluding passages about his his techniques and the stuff that reappears in all of his movies. And it occurred to me that in the 13 movies or the 12 movies that I studied, that I, reviewed, there is not a single interaction, not a single dialogue interaction between two women in any of his movies.
Wow.
And I mean that, like, as in, you might see a movie where a girl turns around to a waitress and says, "I'll have a coffee, please." And the waitress says, "Sure, hon, 2 seconds." No, like, there's literally never been a dialogue interaction between two women in a Nolan movie, as far as I'm aware.
You know what's interesting is that he gets a pass on this, because if it were any other director, I would assume that a lot of the stuff in his movies, like in the Odyssey, there is a scene where Penelope is dressing down Telemachus and saying, I should be in charge. The throne is not empty. I've been doing the job. So fuck you and fuck all you guys. She says something like, all of my experience isn't worth the peach fuzz on your chin or some shit. And then he kind of comes back at her like, "Oh, so you want to be king?" And then she just shouts at him, "I want Odysseus," and then just storms off. So like, he writes this scene where she's getting around to this talking point of like, why does the ruler have to be a man? But then the whole thing ends in her just basically hysterically screaming at him that she wants her man back and then storming off. And I just have to believe that if it was any other director, people would be like, wow, that's very sexist. That's very insulting. For some reason, though, and I hadn't noticed until you just brought it up, you're right. He never has more than one woman on screen. They're never talking to each other. And they're usually not talking about anything other than a dude, so that it doesn't pass this fabled Bechdel test, which was a joke made by a lesbian, by the way. I found that out recently.
This is actually,
but yeah, it's interesting. I feel like anybody else would get raked over the coals for that.
Yeah, there is one interaction. Catwoman has a brief interaction. That's right. There's some socialist chick. This character that's in the movie, and then she's not in the movie. She just vanishes into thin air. But that's right. There is a very brief interaction between those two. So well spotted, Omega Man.
The girl that wants to be.
That is how forgettable that character is. I literally forgot she existed in The Dark Knight Rises. But I think that's the only one. Another weird thing about Nolan movies that I noticed is that I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but it's a trait that is in basically every one of his films. There's only two that it's not in. Dunkirk, which is a war movie with no women in it. Fucking based. And the second one, Insomnia, which he didn't write. Ironically, it was written by a woman. All of his movies contain the pedestalization of women. All of them, basically, whereby it's just what I said. The male protagonist will sort of have this woman that he's putting on a pedestal. And that's in all of his movies, and it's kind of putting her on the pedestal to like a creepy degree, like the way Bruce Wayne fucking worships this gassed up mid Rachel. It's shit like that, and then he builds a little shrine to her in fucking The Dark Knight Rises, stuff like that. That's in all of his movies. It's very simpish. Anyway, that's enough about the Odyssey. We just wanted to quickly check in on that and take our L and move on to.
Gotta eat the crow sometimes. Yeah, I'm interested next time we stream. I really do want to know what you think about it when it comes out in Korea. It'll be too late to talk about it by then, but I still I'm interested because you've read the book twice now, because you said you originally read the what's her face Rachel or something. the gal that now everybody's suddenly on her side because she hates
Emily
the movie.
Wilson.
Emily Wilson, that's the one. But then you said you went back and read another Robert Fagel's version, right? So you've now read it twice from 2 different translations. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested when it comes out.
I think a lot of people probably enjoy it just as its own thing because 99% of people who see it haven't read the poem. So it'll be interesting from the perspective of someone who knows the source material fairly well. I'll have to look at it as an adaptation. I just can't watch it as a movie on its own, especially since I've read it recently, so it's fresh in my mind. There are specific things I'm going to be looking for. I'll probably be very disappointed, to be honest, but we'll see. You
will be, but people will tell you that you're wrong, and they'll just say adaptation as though if you just say adaptation or interpretation, then nothing matters. That's a hand wave catch-all that Nolan can just do whatever the fuck he wants because people just say it's an adaptation. It's an adaptation. Okay, that doesn't mean that it's good though. Like you still, if you're going to adapt, you have to do something with it, and he didn't. He actually went the opposite way. But anyway, done with the Odyssey.
There's one. I don't know if you guys, real quick on the Odyssey, there was because the China release is coming out next week or 2 weeks from now. So he's doing the press tour now with the Chinese entertainment, and there was a woman that called him out like the story praises hero. It's a positive it's a positive hero's journey tale that's very uplifting. And Nolan basically, it's like an 8-minute clip, but he spends like 2.5 minutes talking in a circle, eventually landing on, well, we have to apologize for heroes now. That's what modern society has taught us, and that's the direction we're going. So we have to apologize for the hero's journey now.
He's a full postmodernist. I mean, the inverted storytelling, that's postmodernism. The misanthropy, that's postmodernism. This apologizing for heroism. His lens is to view history through critical theory. Like he is the most postmodern of the postmodernists. He just executes it better than other people, which is why he's gotten away with it for such a long time, and still may be getting away with it because this movie's making over $1 billion for sure. But it all fits. It doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, Sasha says Memento doesn't put a woman on a pedestal. It absolutely does. Leonard Shelby's whole character arc is defined by his distorted memory of his wife, his dead wife. He has concocted a kind of perfected image of her in his head and pedestalized the memory of her, and this is what drives him as a character. The opposite is true of what you said about Memento. Anyway, let's have a look at Spider-Man Brand New Day. So look out, here comes Spider-Man Brand New Day. 465 million worldwide opening, set to be the second biggest ever for Sony. So that was a gigantic underestimate. I wanted to just show you this to show you by how much Spider-Man Brand New Day has overperformed. So it's made $927 million on its opening weekend, which I think is an all-time record.
Yep.
For any movie.
That is insane.
That's absurd. Like if you did that, that would have been really good number for its full box office run. If it had come out of the box office with $1 billion, everybody goes home happy. It did that in one weekend. Like that's insane.
Weekend's not even done. We still have the Sunday numbers.
Fuck.
And it deserves it. This movie was fantastic.
And go ahead, Greg. Just give us your take on Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, look, it's speaking of heroism, like this movie, what's great about it is it's got a consistent theme throughout the movie, which is that heroism is good, but heroism doesn't mean doing it alone. Like that's the theme throughout the whole thing. Jumping off the last Spider-Man, he's erased everybody's memories to keep them all safe, and he feels like, okay, to be heroic, I need to be alone. I can't endanger anybody by having them around me, by people getting to me through MJ, through my friend Ned, whatever. And then Punisher is in here, which is an ongoing theme for the character of the Punisher. And then are we spoiling shit? I don't even know what's known about this movie and what's not, but everybody knows.
No, just fucking do full spoilers, okay? You're warned, everybody. We're going to be doing a full spoiler review.
It's not like there's a
Spider-Man Brand New Day. Going by the box office numbers, everybody's seen the fucking thing anyway.
Right. But, you've seen it.
There's probably a lot of people who wanted to see it and couldn't get a ticket. So if you don't want it spoiled, everything's going to be timestamped, so you can just check back with the timestamps. Or if you're watching it live now and you don't want it spoiled, I don't know, just check back in 15 minutes or something. But this is going to be spoiler because there's no point in us talking about it if we can't do spoilers.
Yeah, I hate doing that. So hard. But yeah, he's got that same theme. Punisher's got the same theme. And then you've got Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. We're trying to get the X-Men in. which they've already been introduced in the Marvels, but since about 36 people saw the Marvels, nobody actually knows the X-Men are there, so they had to try again in a more popular movie. So she's the same thing. Her sister is dead and she's getting revenge. And again, it's I'm all alone in the world. And the whole theme of the movie is you don't have to be alone. You need a team. You can be a hero while still having a support system, whatever, right? So it's a consistent theme. All the characters reflect that in some way. I was actually very impressed with how stuffed full of stuff this movie is. Like there's about 5 different storylines going together, but where a lot of movies tell it sort of like Rings of Power, where they're like, okay, there's this storyline for 5 minutes, and then we jump to these people for 5 minutes, and then these people for 5 minutes. Spider-Man manages to do a good job of weaving everything together pretty well. So him trying to reconnect with Ned and MJ is woven into the Punisher storyline, which is woven into the Jean Grey storyline. It's not all cordoned off and you're just getting little bits and pieces. All of it meshes together to tell the same story, which is very, very impressive. It was fun the whole way through. There were still emotional parts. We didn't do the quippy MCU shit where we undercut serious scenes. They were allowed to breathe. It is 2.5 hours long, so it is a little long, but I think that's good in order to give those scenes the time that they need. Overall, everything really, really works. There's not a bunch of stupid gimmicks. There are 1 or 2 lampshading bits about the MCU as a whole, which I really wish they would have left out, but overall the comedy worked. The serious moments worked. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, Vex, what were your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are the complete opposite to Greg's.
Damn it!
It wasn't.
I want a rage argument here.
Yeah, okay. It was a fun movie. Like, I'm not going to disagree with you there. Like, the pacing was a little bit off. It ran a little, like 20, 25 minutes too long. But overall, it was a very fun movie to watch. I like that it at least started off having a more contained story for Spider-Man. Because besides Homecoming, Spider-Man's other movies, it's always been we got to tie it back to the larger MCU universe. So I appreciated that for at least 2/3 of the movie or so, we just got Peter in New York dealing with whatever he needs to deal with, right? I didn't really get the themes of like trying to be a hero alone and that you don't need to be alone and you can join forces. I thought Jean Grey was an awful villain. Her her reasons and her actions for what she's doing don't make any sense. She doesn't know again, spoilers. She doesn't know her sister is dead until like the last 30 minutes of the movie.
That made no sense to me because she's a telepath. Yeah. She should at least feel some, even if it's very vague.
Right.
She's going to feel some telepathic connection to her sister. I mean, she knows her sister's in the building, right? Maybe she can't communicate with her directly, but if she's in the vicinity, like outside the building, she must feel some sort of telepathic connection, especially given how powerful she is, right?
Right.
And the fact that they're twins. And to me, that just disrespects the X-Men lore, in my mind.
I'm in agreement with you, kind of, because she had the rule of, okay, she can only jump 33 feet, was it, right? So I'm just thinking the whole time, why do you need to drive an armed building, like an armed vehicle into a building? Why do you need to break out all of these other villains in order to help you when twice in the movie we see her jump through mines across New York City? And then it's not that, but it's not like when she gets into a mine that she stays trapped there, she can just sever the connection and start all over again. So, like, I'm very confused why she needed to murder a whole bunch of people because that vehicle blew up and we saw like 20 people around it. So they all died. And then there's the guy that she just innocently threw in front of a cab to be like, gotcha, Peter. So it's very hard for me to
then
want
she
to sympathize.
She tries to murder MJ. Like, she just throws her off a roof.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. And what really bothers me about it's this fucking weird Hollywood, their distorted sense of morality. They think, well, because she's a woman and she's traumatized, it's fucking Scarlet Witch all over again. She's allowed to commit these atrocities because she's a traumatized woman. And when a woman does it, that means that it is not illegal. It's just, fucking, no, she's a monster. And then Peter treats her with kitty gloves. It's like, she tried to murder your girlfriend. She threw some random broke ass guy, probably has, 2 kids and he's working a job as a taxi driver just to get by. She throws him in front of a fucking car, just ends him for a lot.
See him snap in half too.
She blows up a tank at a prison, murdering a bunch of paramedics and security guards. Yeah, she kills a few prisoners, so she gets points for that. But it doesn't matter. You've just killed innocent people too. So, like, she's a monster. And then Peter turns around to this absolute bitch and says, she says, I'm alone in the world. I don't have anyone. And Peter sort of simply looks at her with his, his simp look and says, you've got me. And it's like, what? She's a fucking psycho, man. Look, I know. I get it. Sadie Sink is fucking gear. I get it. But, like, don't go there, man. It's not worth it.
It really is.
You're crazy.
It really
I wish that she wouldn't have been let go. I don't mind all of that other stuff in the movie. I just don't like the fact that it culminates in her then jumping on a bus and being set free. They should have ended with her in prison and him being like, look, I still sympathize with you, but you did a lot of bad things, so you do have to, because people are right. It's Scarlet Witch all over again, which is not great. It's the ending that kills it. If they had locked her up and said, we're going to get you help, but you do have to go to prison, I think that would have gone a long way toward making a lot of that forgivable.
Just keep her as a villain. Like, don't redeem her at all. Like, I found it so stupid that, okay, so you go ahead and kill all these people. You're almost beyond redemption. And then you look into Peter's mind and Peter gives you an Aunt May memory where it's like, you're not alone. And suddenly that's enough to snap you out of all of the trauma of being hunted down by the government to experiment on and your parents abandoning you. You just needed someone else's aunt to tell you you're still loved as a superhero. It's such an easy and lazy cop-out to make sure that you don't hate her going forward. I would have preferred they just kept her as a villain.
Marissa Tomei can do a lot of things. Have you ever seen Before the Devil Knows You're Dead?
No.
It's got a scene with Marissa Tomei that I think would cure a lot of the problems in the world.
Hold on. Is it a booby scene? Is that what you're trying to get at?
It might be.
Oh, it might be. Okay,
and,
I'm writing it down.
I just think it's this particular Aunt May that can solve a lot of problems. So I feel like that plot hole is forgivable.
Okay, I'll let it slide.
I've liked that woman ever since Posy Traction. I can't help it.
Shit like this, it does my head. And Sink is like a 6, brother. Sadie Sink is not a 6. I can't even with these people, man. I fucking can't. What are you even talking about? Say Quid Nedley. Like, what are we even doing here?
What's
man?
a 10? What's a 10 that say Quidley?
Sadie Sink is a 6. What the fuck is a 10? Oh, it's Sydney Sweeney because she's got big tits. Look, it's okay for women to have small breasts. All right, no problem. Right, still great as long as she's good looking, nice body. I don't mind that at all. All right. Mm-hmm. There's some guys that've got this fixation on, the huge tits.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like that, bro. You got to have some tolerance for different types of beautiful women. Zendaya's a good example. She's a beautiful woman. I know she gets a lot of stick. I know I'm sort of alone on this one. This is my sort of loner take in the chutosphere. I actually quite like Zendaya. I think she's good looking. I think she's a good actress, but that is not a popular opinion. I'm well aware. Although I did think she was good in this movie.
I had no problems with her, surprisingly. I'm kind of on the same train as you, Despot. She's average looking to me. I don't think she was a good choice for MJ, but I don't think she's as awful as everyone. Like, I saw the drama earlier this year, and I thought she was great in that. She was so well suited for that role, and it was nice to see her have a little more range. So, but yeah, she was not a problem in this movie at all.
I was happy with what they did with her. They changed her character, it feels like, in this movie. I've really hated her in the past. I think it's where she gets a lot of shit because her character in the past several Spider-Man movies has just been to go, wait,
yeah,
you never losers. Oh, but I'm going to hang out with you guys anyway. Whatever. I hate you guys, but don't leave me. I'm hanging out with you. Oh,
10 out of 10 impression.
Just like constant. I fucking hate it. But in this one, she was actually more human. Like, she was an actual character with real feelings and a 2D cardboard cutout, still doing her fucking Casey undercover face. This was a miles improvement in the character of MJ in this movie. It was fantastic, except for the one scene where she reads the letter and she's like, you didn't think that I had a choice to not have a magic spell put over me and the rest of the world? You should have told me. I hate that. That's up there with enemies to lovers for me, and the miscommunication trope of like, but I deserve to know. No, you didn't. You didn't deserve to know because you got kidnapped when people found out that who you were. So clearly he is in the right to not have told you, and he's been proven correct. So stop that shit. It's the drama there is dumb.
She's literally lost nothing in not knowing, so she doesn't need to have any right to know. Yeah.
what I love about MJ in this movie is that she's such an accurate representation of women in the modern dating market. Like, she meets fucking Spider-Man. The guy is built like a fucking tank, like ripped to shreds. He's got like an 8-pack. He's good looking, right? He saves her life on multiple occasions, and then she turns
Tom
around and
Holland
says,
worked
"No, you're
out
just,
for this movie.
I just don't love you. You're just not good enough for me. I reckon I could do better." She's literally the fucking meme. Do you know the woman who's just had sex with Superman and he's lying in bed behind her and she's thinking, "Can I do better than him?" Like, she's the meme. And it's true. It's just modern women. It doesn't. You could be fucked. That's the moral of this movie, right? It's so male brained. It's like, you can be fucking Spider-Man, right? You can be chatted out, and she's still not gonna go for you, bro, because she's got chat in her DMs, right? That's what's really going on with this movie.
It's on the note of Zendaya, because yeah, she was like pretty well written for most of this movie, and they do with her what they should have done with Peter in this movie. They allowed her to grow up. She's not that awkward teenager anymore. She's not a meme anymore. She's gone through, college. She's getting a job. She's living in the real world. And Peter, just like again, they started off really strong. Like, I was like, oh my God, this might be the best of the Holland Spider-Man movies, because they were allowing us to see like, okay, Peter is struggling. He can't exactly move on, but he's become a better Spider-Man. Like, he can work on his own now. He knows how to confront his enemies and all of that stuff without the Avengers kind of in the background. And then when MJ has that moment with him with the letter, and she says to his face, "I don't love you," I was fully expecting Peter to go just like fucking berserker. The arachnid DNA is just at 100%. He goes fucking nuts and starts killing people. But instead, they completely undercut it with a silly joke where it's just like, okay, I need to go home. MJ comes back 2 seconds later. "Well, I don't have a phone. Can you take me home?" And then
I quite liked her coming back and saying, "I don't have a phone," because to me that wasn't so much Marvel humor. It almost felt real to me, because that does happen where you say bye to somebody and then you have to awkwardly come back. "Oh, I forgot this thing."
It wasn't
We're walking the same way.
it wasn't the
Crap.
Marvel humor issue with me, because the Marvel humor wasn't present at all in here, surprisingly. It was just that there was a very serious moment, and you had all of this buildup to the arachnid DNA like being a breaking point or a potential breaking point for Peter to kind of move on to a new chapter, good or bad. And you just kind of undercut that entire moment by, okay, we'll throw in a realistic joke, and then we'll take it a step further, and we'll just be like, "Oh, well, do you want to come and build Legos with Ned, like in your Spider-Man costume?" So now they've taken where Peter was about to stop being a boy. He could kind of be a man. He's back to being a boy, because now the events and everything he cared about in No Way Home, protecting the people that he loved most, making sure they didn't die, he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. It's like, oh, I can have these people back in my life now, so I don't need to think about all of these other things. I don't need to think about moving on, because I've now gotten the thing that I've been hyper fixating on for 4 years.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. I don't think it fully stresses how creepy what Spider-Man is doing here is, because he's basically been stalking this girl on her fucking social media for really
4
years
years.
now, and that is profoundly unhealthy behavior.
Mhm.
And it's like, he sees this good-looking girl who's into him, and she says, "Oh, we live on the same floor," and he's like, "Yeah," and he just walks past her, and it's like, oh, like, you're gonna give up a chance with a girl. Maybe you don't have to throw up against the wall and give her the Spidey treatment, but you can at least ask her out on a date. Like, "Hey, do you want to grab a coffee sometime?" But no, like, he can't be asking this girl out for a coffee. He's got to go stalk MJ on social media.
Mhm.
So that was a little bit, oh fuck me, man. Like, at the start of the movie, I'm thinking, wow, how long has he been doing this? By the way, I'm not trying to denigrate Greg's take. I land somewhere between Greg and Vex here. I actually think this is a good movie, and I think that, generally speaking, audiences, your average cinema goer just wants to go to the cinema and have a good time. They'll have a great time with this.
Oh,
They
100%.
really will.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great date movie. Like, if you want to take a girlfriend, boyfriend to this, you'll have a great time. The kids are going to love it if you want to take the kids. It's a really good family movie. It's such an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Audiences are going to love it. It's a real crowd pleaser. So I really do give it credit for that, because it's not easy to make a big crowd pleaser like this, especially when you look at how shite Marvel stuff has been recently. And
Agreed.
that's the other thing. The Marvel bar is so fucking low. Last year they had Fantastic Four. People forget how bad that was. Fuck me, that was awful. They had Thunderbolts
back.
and fucking Captain America Brave New Bollocks. And that honestly might have been worse than the Marvels. That might be the worst MCU movie ever. So this just blasts all that shit out of the water. This is vastly superior to all that.
Agreed.
Even though it has problems.
Well, I think one of the reasons that it feels so refreshing and so good is because they took on the idea of, you know, you don't have to be alone, and him, like, this unhealthy behavior that he's engaging in by trying to stalk these people in his past life, but he still wants to move on to his new life, but he's telling himself he has to be alone for everybody's good, and he's putting this on himself and whatever. And he moves past that. And what I really loved was that they didn't do the typical Marvel or typical fucking everything therapy speak shit. I absolutely loved the fact that in this movie, one of the big moments that happens, the big conversations where normally a character would damn near look at the screen and say, you need to set some boundaries and find your inner strength and make peace with your inner child to, like, and just go. It was him and the Punisher. It was the most dude to dude conversation. I could believe that the people that made this movie went to a construction site and they were like, hey man, if your bro couldn't get over his girlfriend, what would you say to him? And then just wrote that shit down verbatim. Like, I would tell him to, you know, pull his fucking skirt off and use it as an ice pack to cool off his swollen vagina and just move on with his fucking life and shoot something. And basically Punisher tells him this. It was fantastic. It was so anti everything that the MCU has been doing for the longest time. And every modern writer wants to inject all the things their therapist has told them. It was a real dude conversation. It was very authentic feeling, but it still got the point across. Like it still solved his problem. It still made sense. It still spoke to the theme of the movie, which could have gone into therapy land very easily, but it didn't. And it was fabulous. The only thing that I didn't love was then later when he's having the fight with the hand, which was fucking cool as hell. And Jean Grey is like, are you Peter Parker? Are you Spider-Man? And then all of a sudden he just goes, I'm both, and then boom, just inner peace, and everything is solved, and he's fine after that.
The action in this, the action is excellent. First of all, maybe the best thing about it, I think, is it has the capacity to shut the fuck up. That was maybe a personal favorite thing of mine, because a huge problem with modern movies is the yap yap trope, where the characters just will not shut the movie won't shut the fuck up. Somebody's always like, the Star Wars trilogy was like this, the Disney sequel trilogy, especially the J.J. Abrams movies, they never shut the fuck up. It's horrible, just horrible to watch. Here, like, the scenes where Spider-Man, and these were beautifully shot, where he's he's webbing through New York and he's got MJ on him and he's bringing her home, and it's just quiet. It just chills out, and it's just following in. It's this nice POV shot from behind Spider-Man.
We had all the squeaking in the previous ones. MJ was always great. Like squeaking. Yeah,
really, really just lovely scenes, very well shot, and it's just a nice chill moment after the intense action. And then it also gives you that fucking awesome fight scene between Peter and the ninjas. That was class. That was such a fucking good action scene. I love that.
My only issue with the action scenes is I just wanted them to be a bit longer. Like, sometimes they felt like they were cut a little bit too short. Like, I would have loved to see that ninja scene in the prison go on a little bit longer, because it feels like it cut to him having the realization and then mastering his arachnid DNA too quickly. But I wanted to see more of that. But I love that it went back to practical. There was a lot less reliance on CGI filling everything in, because that was an awful thing with Fantastic Four last year and Captain America 4, where it was just like every action sequence was just an effects display and not a very good one. So it's nice.
The fucking green screen in that movie, like, they could just be standing there in front of a field and you could say, yeah, the field is CGI. It was that fucking awful.
Yeah.
This was, there are very few complaints I've got, but I would go watch this one again. I usually don't watch them twice, especially these like Marvel-y style ones. They're usually not worth more than one watch. It's a good theater watch, but no, overall, this one was great.
Yeah, I will say I really, the one thing I hated about it was Yelena. I wish they would stop. I wish they would stop trying to make her a thing. She's not a thing. She's not fucking Black Widow.
She's
Okay.
big potato, though. Big potato.
Florence, she uses that stupid American version of the Russian accent.
She
Fucking
remembered it at
awful.
least, finally.
Just she's not, and Florence Pugh's a nice looking girl. She's not fucking Scarlett Johansson. I just wish they would stop trying to make her a thing and let her go, because she's not a thing. No one likes her. It's not a popular character. And she just random ass shows up in the movie 2 or 3 times to waste everyone's fucking time. I can't even, all she was doing was exposition dumping.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
all she did.
if Peter could have figured this out on his own, no problem. It was also, I also felt the cop, I don't mind Peter liaisoning with the police. I think that's a good idea. But the character they invented to do it with, who's, let's face it, a box ticker, just a DEI checkbox, I thought that was a very weak character. Because she just didn't have a character. Her character was, I exposit stuff to Peter and I have kids to make me feel more human. And it's almost like she was there to accentuate the themes and exposit information. She was just really a plot device. Like where she turns around and says, Peter, the themes of this movie are that you need other people in your life. Or she said, Peter, the plot needs you to know this. Like, she was just such a fake character. So her and Yelena, I think this movie is an editor bro's wet dream. So, fan editing is, it's a big community online where they'll take a movie and they'll edit it to improve it. I'm telling you, man, the editor bros are looking at this movie and they're just getting wet over it, because they think I can edit out the Yelena scenes, I can edit out the cop scenes, and the movie is 10% better at least.
Yeah. You know what? The cop had one value, because like one of the things that I'd been discussing with someone else is like, okay, how is Peter affording this lifestyle? If you kind of headcanon that, okay, he's still a dumpster diver, so that explains the tech. And perhaps Aunt May left him a pretty hefty life insurance policy, right? So maybe there's that too. But like at the end, after he's recovered from the bullet wound, right? And DeWitt like calls him and she's like, oh, well, it's just a robbery. We can take care of it. And Peter's like, no, I can be there. So my headcanon a little bit is, did Peter want to be there because that's how he's paying for things? If there's a robbery, he just kind of skims a little bit off the top and that's paying for his livelihood. Kind of used for that.
Does he have a trust fund from Tony Stark or something? Like, what's going on there?
He's given away all the Tony stuff because he has a brand new suit and we don't see any of that tech show up. He also has like a brand new AI, which is voiced by Naomi Watts. So I don't know what's like the continuity issues are what kind of make this movie fall apart for me so hard, because there's no continuity with Hulk now anymore. They're just picking and choosing when he goes full Hulk, when he's not. With the Punisher, it was the same thing. Like the Punisher just got his own movie 2 months ago. And in that, all of New York and like several government agencies are trying to hunt him down. And now in this movie, he's driving through the city, no problem. He's walking into hospitals, no problem. There's nothing that is working against Frank anymore. And he very much just feels like kind of like, oh, the dumb kind of paranoid uncle, rather than the very like stoic and methodical killer that we've seen throughout several shows and a movie.
Yeah.
That was the issue I had. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
One thing I didn't love, I don't love the lampshade. The one artifact from the MCU that there was a little bit in this movie that they can't let go of everything. Mm-hmm. There was a little lampshading in this that I just can't stand. The Yelena thing, that felt like lampshading. It feels like she was in there to just basically wink at the camera and say, there's a, like, yes, all this stuff is going on in New York. And the reason that you don't see any other heroes is because it's small potatoes. Yeah. And that to me, I don't like when they do that with this universe, especially. And then it just didn't need to be there. And then the line in Banner's classroom where a student is like, hey, if Thanos could have just used the magic glove to snap away half humanity because of resources, why didn't he just create resources? Which is a valid question. Mm-hmm. And then another student just goes, Hulk smash, and everybody laughs. And it's like, so you brought up a valid question, but you didn't want to answer it. Why even do it then? Like, nobody forced you to put that question in the movie. That's a fan question that people have been, that will argue about in forums, but why did you bring it up in the movie just to then dismiss it? It's absolutely fucking point. I hate when they do that. And
part of the universe, they got to keep reminding you it's all like, it's one of the few moments where it has to stay connected.
This movie brings up a problem with the MCU as a whole, though, is that it's so unwieldy at this point. I mean, we invented a brand new department, the Department of what was it, damage control or some shit. Nobody's ever heard of this before, but they have buildings all over New York. They have all these superpowered people, this research, this brand new thing that's been invented. It just, the universe itself is just massive at this point.
Damage control is not a new thing. Apparently, those are the people we see at the beginning of Homecoming that are going in and scooping up all the alien body parts.
Really?
Someone told me that this morning. Yeah. So damage control isn't that new. It's just, they did not do a good job of establishing that entity whatsoever.
The one with the Michael Keaton where they get him out of a job and everything, that's damage control?
Yep.
Interesting.
In terms of the fallout of this movie, there's a few things. Kevin Feige is now invincible. The CEO of Disney couldn't fire Kevin Feige if he wanted to, because the board would oppose it at this stage, given the box office returns on this movie and the really good press it's getting, the good word of mouth and everything. Audiences love it. So Kevin Feige's invincible now. He can't. He's unfireable. The other thing is DC, Warner are going to be looking at this, and they're just going to be thinking, "Fuck, we really fucked up with James Gunn, didn't we?" Like, I think it hit them hard. Like, Supergirl was a sort of gut punch for them. I think this movie and its success is just going to be a sledgehammer blow. It's like, yeah, we fucked up. We really fucked up with James Gunn. This is going to put them under tremendous pressure to basically shit can him and get him out the door as quick as possible and reboot again, which they've been doing for 15 fucking years or something. They just, no matter what they do, they always get fucking curb stomped by. And look, give Kevin Feige credit. I know that Phase 4 was a fucking calamity, but he did actually say, I think his exact quote was something like, "Yeah, we've done our bit for King and Country. Now we need to get back to making money." And basically what he was saying, we've made all the bullshit woke propaganda. Can we please make good movies again? And he said, prior to this movie, he said that he had actually spent a lot of time online and he was trying to learn from the feedback. You compare that to someone like Kathleen Kennedy, who is a woman who just would never, ever learn from her mistakes. And look, everybody makes mistakes, all right? It doesn't matter how fucking good you are at whatever it is, you will make mistakes, except me, obviously. But everybody else, you look at the best geniuses and whatever they're doing in history, they will make mistakes. The really great, the true greats will learn from them. All right, they'll learn from their mistakes and they'll apply fixes. There's many examples in history, like Abraham Lincoln is one. Robert E. Lee, to use another Civil War example, is another one who general who learned from his mistakes and adapted quite brilliantly. Kind of invented trench warfare, for example, as a means of dealing with problems that he'd had in the past. So you learn from your mistakes, but and that seems to be what Kevin Feige's doing here, as opposed to say Kathleen Kennedy. But Warner, they just can never fucking get it right. They just can't learn. Like, what's happening there? Like, why can't Warner ever get it right?
I think it's because they're chasing Marvel. They've been trying to copy their homework the entire time. Oh, you guys have a universe? We'll have a universe. Oh, you have individual movies leading up to a big group thing? Oh, we'll try to do that with the Justice League. But they're always one step behind. And the only way they're trying to replicate it, but also differentiate themselves as being like the cool, edgy, serious ones. And it just has never worked out. It's always felt slapped together and trend chasey. Now they've won their third reboot now, trying to get it right. It just
and they speed run it, right? That was the thing with the Snyderverse, is Snyder wanted to do a couple more movies before Justice League, and then WB was just like, no, we need a Justice League movie right now, and it was an absolute calamity. So it's just do your own thing. And also, like, the DC heroes, just let them have their own standalone thing. That would have been the smart thing to do from the get-go, is just leave them on their own. Not everything needs to be a universe. You don't, because they were starting to do that when Marvel was already on a downfall with theirs. Marvel had the good grace of like the first 2 phases, some of phase 3, right? Some of it. But it's like people were starting to get over the whole universe thing when they started doing it.
Well, I also think that DC has a little bit of a disadvantage in that they have S-tier characters, which is Superman and Batman, and then they've got like C and D tier characters like Clayface that nobody gives a shit about. And I think Marvel has more characters that are somewhat known, but they're not the most famous and haven't had. I mean, how many Superman movies have you had? How many Batman movies have you had? Like, I would argue that the audience is almost a little tired, but then if you try to do a Justice League or any sort of DC universe without those two characters, it's not going to work. But they've been done to death at this point, so they're kind of stuck. What do they do? You know,
keep it small scale. Like everything doesn't have to be 100 million blockbuster, right? Like in theory, I like the idea of Clayface having his own movie. I'm a little disappointed with the latest trailer because it just kind of looks meh or whatever. But just like keep your budget small, just do your own thing with these characters. Don't connect it to a bigger universe. Do kind of what James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's something we do have to give him credit for, because he took characters that literally nobody knew about, nobody cared about, and he just kind of propelled them the right way into popularity. So just do the same thing again. Don't go for the universe.
Yeah.
We'll have to move on from Spider-Man, but overall, if you haven't seen this movie, I recommend it. I think you'll have a great time. Sure, it has problems. It could be improved pretty easily, but it's a great time at the cinema. Go see it.
Good action popcorn flick. Very fun time in the cinema.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did you bring your kids, Greg?
Yeah. We did the entire family and some friends. Bought a whole row out.
Dang.
Everybody really, really enjoyed it. My 10-year-old said he just wasn't. He's the one that really didn't love it, weirdly enough. 10-year-old boy just was like, it was okay.
Did he say
6-year-old said she really loved it, although she was kind of wiggly and went to the bathroom fucking twice. But everybody else had a blast. So it's fun for the whole family.
Why didn't the 10-year-old like it? Did he say?
He just said he's like, I don't know, I just don't love Spider-Man that much. And he's like, it was kind of long and I was bored. And I don't know, he just wasn't into it. I was actually very surprised by that. I thought this is a young boy movie right here. 12-year-old loved it. All the teenagers loved it. But yeah, just I had one contrarian in the group.
All right. So we're going to do a dip before we move on to the next. We're going to do a quick Despot Diatribe. So this was Greg's idea. It's like a 500-word essay that I write, and then I just read it out here.
Okay.
And it can be anything that is doing my fucking head in. This is just my chance to get it off my chest and rant about it for a bit. Okay, here we go. So this diatribe is called "Get to the Fucking Point." What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I got a Patreon linked in the description. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, I would appreciate that so much. Thank you, and let's get into it. Okay, so today we're going to be discussing an issue that has been plaguing so many YouTube videos lately. Like, I'm not even kidding. I see this every day now. You probably know what I'm talking about when I tell you that so many videos are taking far too long to get to the fucking point. Now, I'm not making this video as a judgment against anyone. Obviously, I'm not saying any of this to criticize any particular channels. And if you like a video setup where the channel creator or channel creators kind of like warm the viewers up with a little bit of preamble, I'm not saying that you can or can't or shouldn't enjoy that. That's totally up to you. And far be it from me to tell you what kind of content you can or should or shouldn't be consuming here on YouTube or on any other platform. Obviously, I'm not saying you need to be listening to stuff on YouTube. There's a lot of other platforms out there, like TikTok especially is popular. I know a lot of my listeners are into TikTok, even though it's not my thing. But again, it's totally fine. No judgment against anyone for watching stuff that has that kind of vibe. And definitely, as I said, I'm not here to preach at you, but really just give my opinions based on some personal observations that I've had recently on the YouTube platform. With that said, let's get into the topic of today's video of why so many videos now seem to want to waste the viewer's time with long preambles instead of just getting right into the topic, which is obviously why the viewers clicked on the video in the first place. Like, okay, so let's get into it. Like, not even low key. This actually reminds me of trying to make a customer service call. You know what I'm saying? Like, you call your car insurance company because, I don't know, your car insurance went up or something. And you just want to speak to a human being on the other end of the phone, but instead you get an automated bot, which runs you through the options. Then after going through all the options and trying to fob you off onto the online service, you finally get through, but it's an AI and it's another 5 minutes of bullshit before you even get through to a fucking human being. You know, it's like that. Kind of like the everything in shitification, right? So anyway, I was watching this video yesterday, right? And I think the topic was supposed to be a response to a YouTube film critic who said that The Godfather is overrated. By the way, you guys know I'm a huge fan of The Godfather. That movie is like 11 out of 10. So iconic. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this segment. As I said, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe. All right. Catch you guys in the next one. All right. So
I do not like long intros. Intros that are too long, I do not like. Mojo Jojo does not like it when people talk too much.
They've been doing my head in recently. There was one recently where it was a movie ranking between two guys. They talked for 9 fucking minutes before they even got into the ranking. And I've been noticing it recently. It's just a lot of them do it to get a mid-roll in. Are you familiar with Midnight's Edge? Do you know that channel?
Yes, unfortunately.
I cannot fucking, and I know it's bad form for YouTubers to throw shade at other YouTubers, but I don't care. He's a time waster. The guy's a time waster. I used to subscribe to him, and a couple of years ago, I'd had enough. It's like, I can't fucking take this anymore. And the straw that broke the camel's back was a video where it said review of War of the Rohirrim, and the top rated comment was review starts at 8 minutes. The guy just and he would extend everything as long as he could to get to 9 minutes so he could have his mid-roll. He was awful for it, but it's become a problem. It's become so many fucking videos now. They just won't get to the point. There was one, a guy was going to respond to a Godfather critique, and he wanked himself off for 5 minutes without even talking about a single aspect of the critique. Fuck me, I can't stand it. It does my head, and stop wasting my fucking time. That wasn't part of the rant. That's just me being angry.
I respect it, and I agree with you mostly. But now I feel a little called out.
Yeah, while you were talking, I looked over at the script that I just filmed today. I'm like, did I do that today? Did I say?
I'm just like, I think I did that in my last video.
Okay, let's get started. Do I have that after like 400 words or something? I'm really worried that I did that shit now.
All right, so let's get on to Rings of Fire. I fucking love this thing. It's just a lol cow. It's just a lol cow at this stage. I fucking love it. You've got an orc. They've brought an orc in as a good guy.
Is that what that is?
It's an orc. Yeah, Galadriel has a pet orc now.
I haven't watched any of this show, so I have no idea what's going on.
Do you know, I'm unironically stating this, right? I'm stating this right now. Rings of Power Season 2 was better than House of Dragon Season 2 because Rings of Power at least fucking threw its shots. Mm-hmm. Even if they were big, ugly, winging, crazy shots that missed and exhausted the fighter, at least it fucking let its hands go, right? Whereas House of Dragon was like this. The whole fucking season just wouldn't throw any shots. Let your arms go, man. No, just people sitting in rooms talking. House of Dragon Season 2 was so fucking boring. I mean, Jesus... Season 2 Rings of Power might have been shite, but at least it was doing things. God. And then apparently House of Dragon Season 3 is shite. I don't know. I'll never know. I'm never going to watch it. I can't even with that shit anymore. I'm so fucking done with House of Dragon. I was done at the end of Season 2, but anyway. Yeah, so this got reissued again. But here's the thing, and this is the big one. No one seems to give a fuck. I'm going to give you the exact numbers. So they released this trailer, and Amazon seemed to understand this because they're going to release 4 episodes of Season 3 all at once. And you don't do that unless the show is washed. Mm-hmm. And it got, so The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 3 teaser trailer got 899,000 views in 9 days. Like, that is pathetic for what is supposed to be a premiere, essentially like AAA production show. It couldn't even break 1 million in a week.
Lord of the Rings. It's a Lord of the Rings IP, and it didn't break 1 million. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's truly pathetic. Like, it's
Wicker,
not. It is a
Wicker
log.
Man has more views than this.
They're just done with this fucking show.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody's really. I don't know what I'd have to pull the viewer numbers up as far as like what percentage drop off there was from the end of the first season to the end of the second season. But like, I know I watched the first, what was it? Three episodes that dropped last time. I watched those. I made one video and then I didn't watch it. I don't know what's going on in this show at this point. So I don't know who this orc is. I kind of was vaguely reminded that there are 2 bad guys now. There's like Sauron and then wannabe Sauron who betrayed him because he was like sympathetic to the orcs, right? Is that the deal? And now there's a love triangle between the three of them in this season.
What?
Because, yeah, this season's gonna have a love triangle. You got to look that shit up.
I did look up the viewership numbers for you, Greg. So season 1 hit 150 million global viewers. Season 2 had 55 million. And only 37% of US viewers finished all 8 episodes of season 1.
Yeah,
it's essentially a dead show at this stage. I mean, you could compare it in terms of drop off. I think that what was that fucking piece of shit with Bella Ramsey and and
Last of Us?
Yeah, The Last of Us.
Yeah.
So that lost. I think it lost 55%. It lost about half of its audience over the course of season 2 because season 2 was just historically awful. And that's a dead show. I was actually thinking, what could you do to bring that show back? And there's really nothing. If I was, it depends on what you're going for. Like if you just want sort of content to keep the slop flowing, I don't know, but it's a dead show, right? With those numbers, there's really nothing you can do to bring it back at this stage. I don't think you're going to bring the audience back. Rings of Power is even worse than that. Like this is a zombie show. They keep making it. They're going to make all 5 seasons, but like nobody's watching at this stage. Its viewership is tiny. It's bizarre.
And they're trying to, you can tell that they're writing shit just for trailers and stuff. Like the fight between whoever and the Balrog, like that is pure spectacle just to have in the trailer so that they can make posters and they can put that on the ad. Like your Amazon box is going to have that image on it. I guarantee you, just so they can go, look how cool. There's such cool shit going on. Look, this big fire monster. Isn't this cool? Don't you want to see what's happening? No. And nobody's it's not going to work, but that's what they're writing now.
Yeah, we don't have much to say about this. I did watch the teaser trailer. It's funny. It's got, the orc going on his redemption arc. Maybe they're going to give him a council house in the Shire after this. They've got her husband shows up again. Maybe they decided to bring some romance in because the show was so sexless. So that's nice, I guess. One thing they did that was good, they decided to dump the Harfoots, who are the kind of sort of vermin gypsy hobbits. The ones that speak with the stage Irish accents, and they're all fucking awful actors, and their accents are ridiculous and fake, and every second word is emphasized like a fucking leprechaun high. So they decided to get rid of those wee vermin, which was good because they literally didn't contribute anything to the plot. They were just there as branding so that the show would be a more perfect imitation of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Well, they were there to have not Gandalf introduced, who was not Gandalf. Just so you guys know, it's huge mystery who that guy was that fell from the sky. Yeah. Nobody knew who that guy was, but they were there to help him out.
Yeah, so the potato hobbits are gone. That's, to be honest, the biggest win you could get from season 1. I said when I did my season 1 review, the easiest way to improve this is to just get rid of the fucking potato hobbits because they don't do anything. There's no reason for them to be here. Like they just eat up screen time and kill the pacing. So season 3 will be better just for the absence of those fucking things, those wee vermin. It'll be more watchable for that. I might tune in for a couple of episodes. I'll watch it just to talk about it on stream and have a laugh. Oh, you're watching it, Greg? You're fucking watching it?
Well, you know what? Since I haven't finished season 2, I might have some funny shit to say because I'm going to watch the beginning of season 3 with no context.
Also, I mean, it's probably going to come out at a sort of a dry spell during YouTube. So if you're going to do streams, people are going to ask you to watch it anyway. So
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'll end up watching this fucking thing, like some of it at least. The interesting thing though is like at least it's a lolcow. I have not seen anybody even stream House of Dragon season 3. Nobody gives a fuck.
I didn't know that was out. Is it true the Balrog is going to talk? People are saying
I heard that
comment.
too. Yeah.
Simon Pegg is going to voice it. Do you know what? I agree. I 100% agree. If I was running this show, I would just go full balls to the wall, crazy. Because at this stage, forget about Tolkien, forget about the lore. It's gone. This show is its own crazy thing now. I would have the fucking Balrog speaking in Chinese, and I'd have like this really fucking hot, like translator dressed in like skimpy anime clothing, looked like a fucking cosplay, doing the translation for the Balrog. That's what I would do.
A commenter said that Simon Pegg was, I thought that was a joke. I thought that was just commenters being like, yeah, it's going to be fucking Jack Black doing the ball.
No.
Like, I thought that was a complete gag. Guy Gadbois said that. And I thought, oh, that's a funny joke. Yeah, Simon Pegg. That's hilarious. Are you fucking kidding me?
So yeah, that's
oh,
we have the orc. Well, we do have orc invasions at home. That's fair enough. That's true.
just get Meg Ryan to do it or somebody.
Let's do a couple of super chats before we move on. So Catlord760, $10. Thank you, Catlord. Chutosphere, that deserves a 10 spot. Thank you very much, Catlord. Yeah, I'm definitely in the Chutosphere. I've no like my ex profile is just chuddery from start to finish. It's actually hard to. I almost want to try to find more positive stuff to subscribe to on X because it's just the ultimate doom scroll. It's so blackpilling.
Yeah,
so blackpilling. That's a random name, $5. Thank you very much, random. Missed the chance for Spider-Man to fall in love with Arian Chudette Gwen Stacy. Also, have we ever seen MJ's dad? No. What could Daisy mean by this? Yeah, exactly. And although Spider-Man falling in love, he is a bit of a simp. Like the character's always been a bit of a simp for MJ. Except the only time Spider-Man wasn't a simp was when he went full Billy Maguire, which was fucking beautiful. But I don't know if they would bring that back. Oh, that'd be great if they did.
I really hope they don't make MJ a romantic interest again in the next movie. Just let him move on to a different girl. Let MJ just fade away into obscurity, please.
Yeah, I agree with that. I quite like, even though I did criticize how he's still stalking this girl on social media years later, sadly, that's actually quite an accurate representation of how a lot of young men are in the modern dating market. Like they will have a brief relationship with a girl and then they're stalking her for years on social media. I wish I was joking, but that's just the reality. Which is why I recommend you just don't use social media. I've never stalked a girl on social media.
Donating to e-girls.
Other men do though.
Here's $1,000, Pokimane. Please notice me.
All right. What if the screenshot of Galadriel and her two pet orcs I like that. Doesn't show us that they're looking at Thueta, Rivendell being overrun. Enriched, culturally enriched, naturally. And Innovative Nutmeg 2298. Question for Greg, apropos Rings of Power. As a Midwesterner, do you believe Chicago should have won the Oscar over Two Towers?
Oh man. It's been a long time since I've seen Chicago, but I loved the hell out of it. I still think no. Chicago was fantastic. We were talking about that the other day. We're going to watch that with the kids, I think, because that's a classic musical. But no, as a Southern Illinoiser, I have a prejudice against Chicago because they're sucking us dry down here so we can pay for teachers' pensions and all the fuck ups that JB, the very large governor, we got to pay for his house and his meals, which is a lot of fucking meals for that guy. And we got to pay for all the pensions that were promised to people in Chicago 30 years ago. So no, I don't have a lot of love for Chicago, but also the Two Towers are just fantastic movies. So it deserved the win.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So Avengers Doomsday, I have to say,
look at that poster. Just look
sometimes,
at how many fucking people are in that poster.
Yeah. Just look at that fucking poster.
Is this a real poster? Or is this a fan poster?
I don't know if it's real or I think it's an IMAX poster. I don't know if it's fan or if it's real, but I decided to use it anyway to accentuate some of the problems with this movie.
It is a fan poster because it's not coming to IMAX. Remember, Dune got all the IMAX screens.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's who gives a fuck? It's a good poster because it basically says, yeah, this movie, it's got some problems. But I have to say, the last trailer was fucking terrible.
That
was an awful trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys. Can you two just work away at this? I'm gonna go grab some coffee.
Oh, no
Vex,
problem.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. There was just nothing to be interested in. Like they tried to mimic what like in Endgame did, the Endgame trailer tried to do, which again, that worked because there were 15 years leading up to it. And we had a part 1 that ended on a huge cliffhanger, right? But watching this, like, I just didn't care about any of it. Robert Downey Jr.'s accent sounded fucking awful. I was more pissed off, honestly, at Cap. You brought Chris Evans back and you just made him look like homeless Chris Evans. Make him look like Cap if you're bringing him back. I like that character. I don't like what you've done with it since. So it's a nothing burger, man. Like, I'm going to be forced to see this because my husband loves Doctor Doom. He's like, oh, that trailer looks good. I'm like, oh my God.
No.
Go ahead, though.
It just, what you can tell that they still have the same playbook. Like, in the trailer, you can tell that Evans coming back and him pulling Mjolnir you can tell that's supposed to be like this big mic drop. Like, the audience goes crazy. They're expecting the audience they want TikToks of the audience is freaking out when that happens in the movie. And oh my God, the crowd is going to go wild. And it just, nobody gives a shit. It's the trailer's so messy. Like, half the movie is going to be random people that you forgot existed fighting each other.
Yep.
And you're going to be wondering why is Gambit and Shang-Chi, why are they fighting each other? Who the hell knows? People are going to be wondering, who is this Mexican fella? Oh, that's right. He was in that movie that I didn't fucking watch, Wakanda 2. Loki is just regular Loki, not the Lord of Time anymore. Who the hell knows why? We're going to have to find out. X-Men are there. Where the hell are they coming from? Like, it is going to be where Spider-Man had a lot going on, but it meshed really well. This movie is going to be the most random, haphazard, just nonsense. And it's going to be a lot of, where was that person from? Oh, that's right. That person exists. I forgot. Hell, I forgot that Sentry existed until I saw him model posing in the middle of the poster there.
They're going to fucking kill Professor X and Magneto all over again, which, again, we already had send-offs for those characters, and people actually, those are emotional to people, right? I remember that was an issue with Logan when it came out. It's like, oh, we're going to see Professor X again, but it worked, right, in that context. So, yeah, all the X-Men characters they bring back, too, are X-Men characters we don't even, like, really give a fuck about. Like, Cyclops might be the only exception, but like, no one really cared about Beast. No one cared much about Nightcrawler. We liked Mystique, but they've done some weird fucking like Middle Eastern garb on her in this one with a Karen haircut. They aren't showing Wolverine in it. I don't know why you wouldn't put Wolverine in this trailer when it's pretty obvious he has to come back as well.
Yeah, this is nobody cares about new Captain America. Like, and that's the other issue, is not only is it stuff, but it's stuff full of characters that the audience does not care about. Nobody cares about Shuri as new Black Panther. Nobody cares about new Captain America. Nobody cares about half of the new Avengers, Thunderbolts people. Everybody forgot about Shang-Chi, the Falcon's new buddy. I don't even remember what his fucking name is. He's in the bottom of the poster there, bottom right. I can't even remember his name, honestly. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I literally can't remember what the fuck that guy is called.
Hispanic Falcon.
Right.
Oh, cheap shit boy.
Yeah.
Like, look at all of these characters, and none of them are A-listers. Nobody cares about them. Thor should have rode off into the sunset. The end of Love and Thunder was kind of it could have been done with the character. That was a halfway. We could be done if we wanted to. That was the knife next to the sink. Like, we could make another sandwich, but we might not. Yeah, nobody cares about any of these characters, and that's not to mention the new ones that they're going to have to spend time introducing, or they're just going to have to exposition dump, which is exactly what they're going to do. And so, yeah, it's just going to be a lot of, and then it's going to be a lot of, who are you? Well, hi, I'm the Beast. I'm super smart, but I accidentally turned myself blue because of some experimentations. And this is my friend Gambit, and he can charge up cards. And like, they're literally going to say those things to the camera. That's the only way, or it's going to be 4 hours long. God, this is going to be.
If you were a writer and Marvel said, look, not even like any writer who was asked to make this movie, the first thing they would say is, okay, I need to cut 2/3 of these fuckers out of here because this is going to be a complete mess. Like, it's impossible to make a good movie with all of these characters who don't know each other. Maybe if there had been sufficient build-up and these characters were in, say, 2 different squads that had to be brought together to achieve a greater goal, or even 3, maybe you could do something. But with all of these characters, these disparate characters in different fucking universes. Many of them don't know each other, and you have to figure out ways to sort of smash them all together like action figures. So much of the movie has to be bringing the characters together that, well, is there any time left for an actual fucking movie after all of that?
Okay, so this is an actual, I'm not even joking, this is a very serious prediction. I think what they're going to do to overcome that problem, because it's a very real problem, and we don't even know who Doctor Doom is. So my genuine prediction is that at least 8 of the people on this poster are dead inside the first 15 minutes by Doctor Doom's hand. And it'll be the writers being like, ooh, isn't he so scared? Look how powerful he is. Aren't you scared of him? Oh, didn't we make him so cool and badass looking because he killed Eagle Twink? Which apparently that's what Platoon calls him. And that's fucking great. But yeah, that's what they're going to do, is they're going to have they'll have a minor squabble, people that don't know each other fighting each other. And then Doom is going to come in, murder everybody in that scene. That's going to be his introduction, and that's going to be your cue as the audience to go, oh my God, this guy's so powerful. That's how they're going to get over it. And then they'll shrink the cast that way.
Isn't that what the leaks kind of confirm? Because are we doing the leaks spoilers? Can we talk about those?
Yeah, because
you know what? I haven't even read them. So tell me what the leaks are, because I didn't even look into it. I care so little about this fucking movie. I don't even care about the leaks.
Yeah, I've seen 2 plot leaks. I'm sure bits of them are true, but at the same time, Disney could be re-editing this as we speak, so who fucking knows?
So in the original, and I think did anyone stick around for the post credits in Brand New Day?
I mean, where they show that he's in outer space?
Yeah.
And that's it?
So in the Doomsday movie is supposed to open up with Toby Spider-Man, because the events of No Way Home basically broke everything, and that's how all of these X-Men characters are now coming into the same universe, and they're all meeting. So it opens up with Doom confronting Toby's Spidey-Man, and he kills Toby in that opening scene. So my theory was, with that post-credit scene, is that that's what it's hinting towards, is that there is another universe's Spider-Man showing up now in the Holland timeline of things, the main timeline. And a bunch of X-Men are supposed to die in that opening scene as well.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I think it's the only thing you can do with what they've got to work with. I mean, if you were writing this movie and somebody told you, okay, write a Doctor Doom movie, we haven't introduced the character at all. The only thing we've done is had a post-credit scene in Fantastic Four where he just appears on screen. Mm-hmm. Here's all these characters to work with that were all in flop movies, a bunch of movies that didn't even make money. Go ahead, please write a movie. We're calling it Avengers, so it's going to have to be a big ensemble cast. How the fuck would you write that? I would kill a bunch of them. I think that's the only way you can do it, to try to simultaneously make Doom look scary and cut your roster down so you have less that you have to work with. Yeah, they're in a corner. What are they going to do?
That's the one thing, even if the movie, it's not going to do Spider-Man Brand New Day numbers, but that's going to be the highest grossing movie all time, it looks like, or very close to it.
Yeah.
But even if it did flop, I don't think Kevin Feige would really give a fuck. As I say, after Spider-Man, nobody can touch him at Disney. He's going to be CEO for a long time. But
and they won't blame him for that.
You do have an opportunity here. What were you saying, Greg?
And nobody can blame this for flopping. I don't think he's safe in that regard, because how are you going to blame him for this shit? This has been years in the making of a flop.
Yeah. So there is a good opportunity here. So you think, well, even if it loses money, we can at least get rid of the shit characters that are just bloating the roster and infesting everything. Mm-hmm. So, let's kill, just looking at the poster, obviously you have to kill Namor, you have to kill Shang-Chi, got to kill Cape Shit Boy.
Wait, they can't kill Shang-Chi because according to one of the writers, Shang-Chi's the only one strong enough to kill Doom.
Nah, we'll kill him anyway. He's a shit character.
Hell yeah.
We'll kill. Who else? Yelena's got to go. John Walker, we can kill him. He's had the shit end of the stick anyway.
All of the Fantastic Four can go, basically.
Put him out of his misery.
Bucky lives. We'll get rid of all the new Avengers. Who did I not kill? Actually, I'm kind of struggling.
You kill Awkwafina. You murder Awkwafina with extreme prejudice in front of Shang-Chi, and then you kill him.
Yeah, and then not Captain America. He's got to go. Gotta kill him. Gotta have a really like slow, torturous death for Pedro Pascal. That's gonna be good. I'm just gonna turn this into a horror movie. If I was writing this, it would just be a horror movie.
Oh shit.
All right, so that's Avengers Doomsday. It is, yeah, it's not looking too good.
It just,
Oh,
it,
right.
it,
Oh,
it just,
I
it
got a
just kinda
commenter
hit-
telling me he's gonna beat Spider-Man up and tell him his name is Toby.
It just kind of hit me that most of the people that would have been watching mainline Marvel films would have stopped at Ant-Man Quantumania. They might have watched Thor 4, but they would have stopped at Ant-Man. So yeah, you're right in the sense that nobody knows who any of these characters are.
No, only die-hard MCU fans have followed enough. I mean, like, you're gonna see a screen crush video that's gonna come out, and it's gonna say like everything you need to know before Avengers Doomsday, and it's gonna be 45 minutes long. And the guy is gonna be talking like this speed. He's gonna be saying, okay, in this movie, and then in Captain America: Brand New Day, this guy was introduced, and here's what he did. Like, he's gonna be talking at that speed, and it's gonna be 45 minutes to let you know what you need to know to see this fucking movie. And nobody's gonna, it's gonna cost $350 million to make. They're gonna spend another $350 million on marketing. It's gonna need, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. It's going to need $1.5 billion, I think, to break even. But after all the money and all the marketing, there's no way this makes. It's just impossible for this to make money.
700 million. That's the marketing and the production cost altogether. Yeah, this won't make money.
Has that been reported already? I just made that up.
That's been confirmed. Yep, 400 million production, 300 million on marketing.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah, we're going to be doing. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
Lex.
no, I just want to add on, like Feige said in an interview, when that was reported too, that they're not too worried about losing money because they just want to set up a new universe and get people back into the game. So it's a long-term play.
Which is fine. And that makes it even more valid what Despot was saying. Like, they'll just kill a bunch of people off so that they can start over. Like,
yeah, which
is a good move. I think I actually do agree with that. They need to end this shit. It'd be better to just have the whole universe blow up and do a like Future 52 style thing where there's a big singularity, all the timelines collapse, and then okay, we're starting over totally fresh, but this is a good move.
Yeah, 2 seconds. So what we're going to do now is we're going to be ranking problems faced by young people, particularly millennial and Gen Z. If I can, hold on. Right, give me a second. I need to log in to my. I need to log into my account. 2 seconds.
Vex, you think that Spider-Man is going to boost this at all because Spider-Man's so huge and does have Jean Grey? Do you think that that's going to boost any excitement about this movie at all?
Spider-Man isn't in any of the promo material right now.
But do you think that it's going to put the MCU in general back on people's radar to think, oh, I should maybe give it a second chance. This movie was so good. I'll check out Doomsday now. Or
the positive thing that the Holland Spider-Man films have always had is that even though they have that tie back into the bigger universe, the story and the character are never dependent on it. So you can watch those movies in isolation and not know what else is going on. But with this, that's impossible to do. And without Spider-Man getting even like just a little bit in the marketing, no, nobody's going to go see this, especially when Dune is coming out instead. And that's, I would argue, more worth the ticket price to go see. If I'm going to pick one movie, I'm going to pick Dune. And I'm not even a huge Dune fan.
It is strange that neither Disney nor Warner Brothers is backing down on who. And I think Disney should be the one to back down. I think they're going to lose that weekend. It's not this whole like Doomsday thing that they're trying to recreate, recreate Barbenheimer. It's not going to work because those are two similar. The whole point of Barbenheimer was like your girlfriend can go see Barbie and you can go see Oppenheimer and whatever. The same audience is going to see both these movies. So they're going to have to pick one. And I know I'm going to pick Dune. And I'm not even that excited about that one because I think they're going to fuck that one up. But
I don't understand how you can justify 700 million, man, because I don't know if you guys remember seeing that article that came out on Forbes last year about the breakdown for just how much money Star Wars has made, like theatrically under Disney. And only one movie has turned a legitimate profit after all of the tax breaks and everything. So I just spending 700 million to set up a universe that is almost guaranteed to fail because even casual audiences are kind of over the continuous superhero universe, just genre thing, with exceptions of things like Batman and Spider-Man. It's just not going to work, man. Nobody cares. And then you poison the well with 5 years of shitty TV shows on your streaming service on top of that.
Yeah.
So any dedicated audience you did have, they aren't going to make up any money for you. They're not going to give you any views.
No, I think it's gonna be a massive bomb. And just the trailer was boring. The Dune trailer got me excited. I was fine. Like the Dune trailer looks fucking cool. The Doomsday trailer just looks like keys jingling. Come on, fellow kids, don't you remember all these characters? It just
the worst keys. At least Deadpool and Wolverine got the key jangling right. Like these are keys these are the keys I saved from the first car I had in high school kind of deal.
All right, you all set up? Despot?
I am all set up, I think. Okay, just about. Right, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be ranking. We're going to figure out what is the single biggest life problem, the issue, societal issue, making life harder for young people. And I got 16 competitors here. So first up, right, we're going to be going we're going to start with the left column and then we'll move over to the right column. Okay. So we'll start at the top of the left. So first up, we have mass migration, right? And hold on, we're going to be doing a poll here. So mass migration is option 1, and option 2 is lack of firm handshake. So that is the boomer complaint. The reason that young people can't succeed today is they just don't have the capacity to walk in there, give the manager a firm handshake, and ask for a 40-year career. So we'll be pulling that. So which is worse for young people?
Okay, I have a question about the
that dead fish handshake makes me want to throw up.
So is the handshake just related to job things, or is it just being a go-getter in general?
A total inability to have a firm handshake, just a general lack of a firm handshake. So that's the problem.
Just all right, everybody. Handshake.
Yeah. Okay. So in the chat, type 1 if you think mass migration is worse for young people. Type 2 if you think it's young people's fault because they lack a firm handshake. Now, while you're doing that, I got some stats for you, right? So let's talk about infinity migrants. So employers in Britain hire 27 young non-EU migrants for each young Briton. So here's this from an article. Employers in Britain have hired 27 young non-EU migrants, which basically means third world migrants, for every 1 young British worker since 2020, according to an analysis by the Centre for Social Justice. And so that is the number of third world migrants under 25 in employment surged from 81,500 in January 2020 to 370,900 by December 2025, a rise of 289,400 which is over 355%. Meanwhile, young British people, actual British people under 25, they only rose by 11,000. Only 11,000 more of them got jobs. So basically, the young British are being great replaced in their own country in employment. So employers are deliberately hiring third world migrants instead of young British people for DI reasons, and obviously as part of a ethnic replacement agenda. So mass migration wins though by 90%, and lack of firm handshake. I want to give lack of firm handshake its due. Okay, I want to give it its due here. So I asked Google what percentage of American millennials have a firm handshake, and this is what it wrote back. There is no official statistic or specific percentage tracking how many American millennials have a firm handshake. However, a widely publicized 2016 study published in the Journal of Hand Therapy found that modern young adults aged 20 to 34 had significantly lower grip and pinch strength compared to same-age adults in 1985, which led media to claims of weaker handshakes, though it did not measure handshake firmness directly. So,
okay,
there you go. But yeah, I think mass migration's taking this one. All right.
I mean,
so next up,
it's going to win, but the firm handshake is still.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I teach young boys, and that's one of the first things that I get on them about is you got to squeeze my fucking hand when you go to shake my hand when you say hi. That's just
I was
oh.
the lack of just kind of like basic social interview skills. I've noticed that too in the instances where I've had to hire people. They have that weak handshake. They don't know how to maintain eye contact. They don't understand the importance of pleasantries. All of them don't know how to answer a phone. Like they get anxiety answering a phone. So it's a big deal still. It really is. I want to give the handshake points. It deserves its time in the sun.
Does. I got a commenter said when they have a handshake, they give a strong handshake and they get looked at weird. Like they're the weird one for giving a firm handshake. God. Also, as we go forward, so we found out last time the poll thing, even though StreamYard, Despot and I are streaming together on this one, for some reason, whoever initiates the poll, it's their chat. So his channel do the numbers. I'll run a poll in mine. I'll tell you what my poll comes up with. But if you're watching this on my channel, typing the numbers apparently doesn't help. So you just got to click on the polls that I'll have in there, and I'll have to report those out because we're living in the future and it's not the Jetsons amazingness that I was fucking promised.
All right. So next up we have shit culture. So shit movies, shit games, etc. So it's that versus lack of bootstraps, or the inability to pull oneself up by the bootstraps, as the boomer cons would say. So let's have a look at some stats here. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with regard to the culture stuff, this is quite. It shows you why they're being used for propaganda purposes. So with regard to culture, 67% of Americans, that's 212 million people, play video games for 1 or more hours every week. 83% of Americans watch movies on streaming services. 93% of Americans listen to music. 74 to 77% listen daily. And 53% of Gen Z identify as sports fans, compared to 69% of millennials. 39% of Gen Z state they never watch sports at all. Just 31% of 18 to 24-year-olds watch full-length live matches, compared to 75% of adults aged 55 or older. So, the boomers love their sports ball.
Mm-hmm.
Only 19% can focus on a full game without second screen or multitasking. I don't watch sports ball games anymore, but I do still watch sort of MMA and boxing. But yeah, so it shows, if you can propagandize the culture, like this is how, for example, you go from DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, which was brought in under Clinton to prevent gay marriage. How do you go from that to everybody virtue signaling about how much they love gay marriage? You propagandize the culture. You use it as a mechanism for propaganda, and you just sort of shove it out there. And when you look at those stats, it really does hit home just what a massive problem it is for people when they have been propagandized to this extent. I mean, there's absolutely no question that young people today are the most propagandized are boomers the most? What do you think, Greg? Who's the most propagandized generation ever?
I would say it's young people today because it's algorithmically driven, and since propaganda is usually about negatives, the algorithm is always going to feed you negative shit. So I would say that they're the most. I can't even say the most propagandized, but I would say that they're the most beat down by algorithmically depressing shit.
Yeah, I did want to do. By the way, I also have some stats about the bootstraps thing.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can find it here. So I wanted to take that seriously. Like, do these people actually have the ability to go out and make it on their own? Give me a second. All right, so here we go. I'll find it. Right. So among non-business owners, 74% of Gen Zers and 58% of millennials said they wanted to own a business someday. 61% of adults and 69% of Gen Z consider business ownership, quote, part of the American dream. Among Gen Z non-owners who want to start a business, 80% said it would let them control their own destiny. 30% of millennials report running a business or small side hustle. So according to those statistics, the sort of boomer narrative that, young people are lazy and they just don't have the go-get and they're not entrepreneurial, it doesn't seem to be the case at all. Like, young people are certainly young Americans are extremely entrepreneurial.
See, but to me, that's evidence, and I know we're going to talk about like the hustle culture as one of the upcoming things, but I think that's evidence of the propaganda right there, that everybody thinks owning a business is like freedom and control. And I mean, YouTube,
just different chains.
Well, that and like, so Vex, you do this full time, or is this
basically? Yeah, I'm an editor and a YouTuber like full time now, not by choice though.
So would you consider this to be like cool freedom? Like, oh, I mean, we all three of us own a business technically, right? We're all making a living off of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fucking cool. Like, I don't want to bitch and be that person, but it's still work is the point that I want to make. Like, it's not this cool freedom, like, oh, I just own my own business, everything's great. Like, it's still it's probably more work than you do in a day job. You get to own all of it, so all the returns are yours. But I would say that's evidence of the propaganda that, like, oh, if you just own a business, if you're just entrepreneurial, everything will be great. Fuck no, it won't.
Yeah, they forget all the taxes. They forget how much work you put in that doesn't like count as like the 9 to 5 hours. It doesn't count that it basically controls your life to a certain extent as well. So yeah, I see like a lot of the like TikTok and Facebook reels and shorts and stuff. They keep pushing these people that like they live in like some tropical region or whatever, and they all own their own business, and it's like it's a dream that reaches very few. Like, I'd be interested to see like the side hustle breakdown of just how many, or like the business owner breakdown of just how many of those people are actually like sustaining themselves. Are they actually able to pay their bills with that business or whatnot? I would say the bootstraps thing is a bigger deal. Go ahead.
Hold on, Greg, 2 seconds. Yeah. Everybody, I'm just letting you know, you can vote in these polls. If you're listening to this, you can vote in the polls by typing a number in the chat. Mm-hmm. So to vote for shit culture, you type number 1, and to vote for the inability to pull oneself up by the bootstraps, the lack of entrepreneurial spirit, you push 2, and you just type that into the chat. So that's how we're voting on all these polls. You have to select 1 or 2, and if you look at the screen, it's in the bottom right corner. It will tell you what you're voting for. Mm-hmm. It's a feature we've only used a couple of times, so I think most listeners don't know how this works. So that's how the poll works. You have to type 1 or 2 in the chat to cast your vote. All right, so lack of bootstraps is really losing now.
Yeah, same on my poll. It's 75% shit culture. And a lot of people are saying in the comments, like, the shit culture it's not responsible for lack of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, but the culture is so depressing for a lot of people that they don't even feel like they can.
Yes. I was going to say though, if you're able to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, then you can actually change the direction of culture if enough people are doing it. So it feels like it's a feedback cycle into itself. So because if you don't care about anything, then you're just going to keep consuming shit culture and you won't pull up your bootstraps. But if you can overcome that and pull them up, then you can change the direction of things. So I would say the bootstraps is a bigger deal.
It's not just a socioeconomic thing. Like, it is a spiritual thing as well. Like, it's not like, what is even the point of having, a decent amount of money if the culture you live in is fucking garbage? Like, the dating culture is garbage. The movies are all fucking terrible. The games fucking suck. The music is what it is today. Absolute fucking trash. It's like, I don't want to be part of such a shit culture. People talk about how, people have massive nostalgia for the 90s. It's like, well, they have nostalgia for a healthy, thriving culture, which we don't have anymore. We have a decaying culture. And what they want is the opposite. They want a thriving, healthy, fertile culture, not this disgusting, sterile, slowly rotting to death, slowly third worldification bullshit that we all live in. And that's reflected in the horrible entertainment that is being shoved down people's throats. For the most part, I do think it's gotten a little better this year overall. But, over the past 10 years, it's been fucking dreadful. It's just not a time anyone's going to look back on fondly.
Agreed.
Anyway, so we're going to move on to our next poll, which is the shopping cart guy is the increasing cost of living, and the heart is and this is very important, the broken dating market. All right, now let me get that poll up for you. Just give me a second. All right, All right, so
Interested to see how this one comes out because I haven't dated in 25 years, so I don't even know.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm married, so I don't know what
Yeah,
dating is
I have
like.
no idea.
I have not dated. Okay, everyone, so here it is. Which is worse? Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, I got it. I had to stop the previous poll. All right. Which is worse for young people? Number one, increased cost of living. Number two, broken dating market. So if you type number one in the chat, you're voting for increased cost of living. If you type number two, you're voting for broken dating market. Now, let me read you some statistics here.
Mhm.
If I can fucking find it, they're a bit disorganized here. Dating. Okay. This is based on a 2025 survey. 24% of young adult males reported having no sex in the last year.
Oh,
9% said the same in 2013 to 2015. 13% of young women said they had no sex in the last year. That's up 8% from 2015. Nearly 1/3 of young adults said they had not had sex in the last 3 months. 35% for men and 31% for women. In 2013 to 15, it was 20% of men and 21% of women. 10% of young men reported being virgins, 2022 to 2023, up 4% from 10 years earlier. For women, the virginity rate is 5 to 7%. 31% of young adults identify as active daters. 74% of young women and 64% of young men report having gone on 0 dates or only a few dates over the past year. And up to 79% of Gen Z users report feeling emotionally, mentally, or physically exhausted by dating apps. And 40% of single adults feel dating is no longer worth the financial cost, with the average date price reaching $189.
good Lord.
So that is a pretty fucking broken dating market. Yeah, so we'll discuss that a bit before we move on to cost of living.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd argue just from what I'm seeing that it's just between these two, the dating market is the bigger problem. If no one is going out and dating, if no one is learning kind of that side of society, like learning those social skills, they're not reproducing and they're kind of just feeding into the other cycle of, okay, we'll just let the migrants come in and do everything, right? Like I feel like there are good skills to learn and harness that are good for your development as an individual to be dated, like to date, that you get from dating. And you can kind of see with some of the youth today that lack of interaction and just being able to scroll past a face that you find attractive for like a split second, it's kind of broken how they see the opposite sex altogether. And we're also kind of seeing this weird, there's a correlation too with just how much porn all these people are watching on top. It's like the women all look the fucking same. I don't know if you guys have noticed it too, but all chicks look exactly the same now. There's no diversity because we've just kind of capitalized, or this generation has allowed themselves to capitalize on one singular look, and it's just kind of destroyed the dating market in that respect as well.
Yeah. Well, there's also, I'm looking for right now. I can't find the damn thing. It was floating around Twitter for the longest time. It was just like basically 2 columns of what young women are valuing in life, like what their goals are and what young men are. And for young men, it was like family, kids, like a lot of what we would call traditional type stuff. And then on the women's side, like that was super low, like family, kids, it was all super low. Career type stuff was real high, and that was real low for a lot of guys. So there's a huge mismatch, I think, on what the good life looks like between men and women, young men and women, like what, and more, a lot of women have what I think I would call older traditional male goals of like, I got to have a career. I got to have, all of these ambitions and goals and all this. And a lot of young guys are like, yeah, my dad told me that stuff actually is not worth shit. And I should just like have a family. And so they're not connecting on what they want to go for. So that's going to make the dating market horrible.
Yeah, guys, remember, I'm going to do some electioneering here. Your vote counts. Currently, there are only 17 votes for increased cost of living and 21 votes for broken dating market. So type 1 for increased cost of living, type 2 for broken dating market. You can swing this vote.
That's right. Unless you're in my chat, then you got to click the button. Cost of living's winning for me, which is kind of crazy.
All right, I'm going to talk about the cost of living stat here. This is fucking nuts, right?
Okay.
So former comptroller, I don't know what that is, but comptroller, whatever. According to comptroller, The cost of living has risen 106% in real terms. So this is including purchasing power, inflation, all that shit's taken into account. The cost of living has risen 106% since 2001, and government inflation data doesn't show it. And that's from 2026. That's from Fortune. So basically what that means is it is literally more than twice as difficult to pay for one's existence in 2026 compared to 2001. It is literally more than twice as expensive just to exist today compared to 25 years ago. That is cost of living today.
I can see it. I totally see it. There's times right now where I'll just like, oh, we'll just go buy this thing for the house, and it'll be something like really like insignificant, and it'll be like a ridiculous. Like I went to the dollar store the other day to just get a soap dish, and it was fucking $8 at Dollar Tree. Like what? It should be $1.
Despot told me that right before the show because we were kind of briefly talking about this, and I'm actually shocked it's that low. I thought since 2000 it would be 3 times or more. I know for a fact my grocery bill is twice what it used to be. I know I bought this house 13 years ago, and it has basically doubled in price. According to what Zillow, I'm not trying to sell it, so I don't really know. But according to, comps and shit, it's basically doubled. Yeah, I don't know how, and I know that the cost of living and the dating market stuff is related, but I'm looking around and I think there's we're kind of bringing back old timey class type divides where basically if you want to afford a place to live and you want low cost of living and whatever, but you want a good paying job, you're going to have to live an hour and a half away from work and commute there. In like old cities where people would live in slums and they would have to take public transport and it would take an hour and a half to get home. That's what people in parts of the country are going to have to do. They're going to have to have this insane commute just so they can afford a place to live.
That's already
By the way,
happening.
Greg and Vex, you can swing this vote. It's literally neck and neck. I just voted for cost of living because the way I see it, dating's expensive. And you know how it is. If his ass is broke, she's going to be head out the door sooner or later. Unless he's fucking Chad Alpha. So if there's no money, there's no dating. And it's just like, we need, as a society, we need young people to meet, fuck, and have kids. And we need to make that a cheap thing for them to do. And if we do make that cheap, if we bring down the cost of living, you will see people socialize more. You will see them going out to meet more. They're going to be working fucking less, which means they have more time and energy to date and fuck and have kids, which is what you want. Instead, we're creating this slave economy where everyone's just a fucking serf. And they think, well, we don't need them to breed because we can just bring in fucking Akbar and, Pajit and Muhammad, then they'll do. No, they fucking won't. They'll live on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway. For me, it's cost of living because to me, the ultimate thing is the most important thing in any society is family formation. And if everything costs your fucking liver, like you go to get some groceries and you have to sell your liver just to walk out the door, we're all like, no one's going to make a family under those conditions.
I voted for the broken dating market, but I guess my view on things is just a little bit different because I find the increased cost of living actually pushes you to be a little more creative and inventive and careful with how you spend your money. And it actually has pushed me to make better, like healthier lifestyle choices as a result. So I feel like the dating market is a bigger deal. If we're not producing anymore, then what does it matter if we're not making money? It's again, they're dependent on each other, so it's hard. It
depends on your perspective, and it's very, very, very interconnected.
Greg, I think I've got 20 votes on cost of living and 13 for dating market. So I've got a little bit of larger margin on cost of living.
All right, I'm gonna close the poll. I'm just gonna call it for increased cost of living. Very, very close though.
Yeah.
And as I say, they are very, very interconnected. Okay, so cost of living makes it. Fuck, you have to. I mean, they have worked hard to turn us into serfs for that to win over dating. Fair play to them.
Yeah,
they're doing a good job.
I think that
everybody.
I think you're right. They're connected, but I think the cost of living comes first because people just feel like, well, I can't date. I can't date if I can't go out on a date. And we're not gonna be able to buy a house together. I certainly am not gonna be able to afford a crib and diapers and all that. So you're just looking down the line, like, even if I have a kid, where's the money gonna magically come from to care for that kid? So I think cost of living is that's your egg before the chicken on that one.
All right. So our next one is Which is worse? Number 1, hustle culture. Number 2, social media.
Oh, this is an easy one.
So hustle culture is that just fucking grind more, bro. It's that, and I got some interesting statistics for this. They're actually kind of shocking. When I looked into it. So you just talk while I try to fucking find this.
Oh,
I mean, for me, I think hustle culture is a product of social media. So I think that it wouldn't exist without social media. If you didn't have Dan Bilzerian and all of his hot chicks and his yacht, or you didn't have people in Fiji showing off their fake, we know now, but showing off the place where they're at, or their all their Bugattis and their Lambos and what color is your fucking Maserati. And if you didn't have that shit on social media for you to see all the time, then I don't think hustle culture would even even exist.
That's why I voted for social media.
So the just grind, bro. Hustle culture drives widespread professional burnout, with 60 to 76% of workers reporting frequent exhaustion. Nearly 80% of millennials identify overwork as a direct health threat, and extreme work hours are linked to hundreds of thousands of annual global fatalities, including many suicides. 80% of millennials state hustle culture causes burnout or health issues. And this is a kind of depressing one. 68% of workers report feeling completely emotionally drained at the end of the standard workday. And weekly output per worker drops significantly when hours exceed 55 hours per week. So this is a mistake that the just grind more bros make. They think that if you just work more, but actually, this is why a lot of YouTubers burn out. You can't just throw hours at the problem and think it'll get better. You do actually have to take breaks and take rests, or you will burn to a crisp.
Yeah.
Some brilliant YouTubers that I followed, they burned out and they've never come back because they just destroyed themselves with overwork. And then the stuff for social media statistics are fucking depressing. Teenagers spend an average of 3.5 hours per day on social networks. A waste of fucking time. With usage scaling sharply from ages 9 to 17. 33% of adolescents report being on platforms like YouTube or TikTok almost constantly throughout the day. 74% of teens state that social network makes them feel more connected to their peers. That's nice. 63% feel these platforms provide a necessary outlet to showcase their creative talents. 34% actively look for mental health information and peer support online. 48% of teens feel social media harms other people. And 46% of adolescents report that social media platforms make them feel worse about their physical body image. I hope for their sake that they are not watching me on this stream right now. But I think we can call it. It's social media. This guy's fucking hilarious. Like, he's just such a ponce. This guy here. I saw him on Joey B. Toons. Joey B. Toons is a really funny YouTube channel where he'll just make fun of the lamest losers on social media. And this guy, what he does is he'll like hold his fingers under a water tap and stare into his phone and go, "Hey, gorgeous. You're amazing today. You are amazing. Hey, gorgeous." Like, it's literally that. It's so fucking creepy. But women watch it.
That's up there with the dudes who wear the motorcycle helmets and say romantic-y shit like, "I'm going to make you mine. You're going to beg me to stop, but I won't." Okay. God, I don't like saying that.
Oh, fuck. It's good shit.
All right, take a shower. I'll be right back.
All right, next we've got the increased cost of housing. We got cost of housing versus mental health. All right, so let me get the poll up. 2 seconds.
So wait, like everybody has bad mental health, or
over caring about mental health, how we prioritize mental health.
We'll just say mental health problems.
Well, that's so very vague.
Fucking when is it? It's gonna lose the house of cost of housing, obviously.
I'd like to hear your stats actually before I vote. I'll hear your stats.
This one's a layup. All right. Let's hear the stats. We're gonna start with mental health problems just to give it its due. Hold on. All right, here we go. 65% of Gen Zers reported experiencing at least one mental health problem in the past 2 years. In other words, life. And that's all I could find. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not a fucking issue. Go to the gym, bro. Stop being such a depressed loser. Greg, what do you think?
Wait, between the housing and the
Hold on. Did I even fucking gather statistics for cost of housing? I think I might have. 2 seconds. Oh, I got it. In 1990, a median US home cost $96,800. That was 3.1 times average household income. Today, the median home price is $418,000, which is 4.9 times median annual household income of $85,000. This marks a 332% increase in home prices compared to a 174% increase in household incomes. So house prices are increasing massively above wages. The average down payment in 1990 was $8,200. So in 1990, it took you approximately 3.2 years to save for a deposit. Today, it's $41,800, and it takes almost 10 years to save for a deposit. In 1990, the average first-time buyer was 30 years old. Today, the average first-time buyer is 40 years old. Those are some depressing statistics, and we wonder why people aren't having kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Without more mental health problems, I'm gonna have to lean on cost of, because like there's that breakdown too that like statistically only 30% of your income should go to your housing needs, whether it's rent or mortgage or whatever. But there are people that are living paycheck to paycheck now because their rent or mortgage or housing in general is eating up that much of their paycheck, and the wages aren't going up to meet that demand. So yeah, I'll go with and yeah, people are very depressed about not owning a home and then having to move back home because there's no housing. So it's a cycle.
It's also the actual, it's a loss of status, and you're kind of disincentivized from your own civilization in a sense, in a very real sense, because you don't have property, which means you don't have any sort of physical claim or physical stake in your own country. Like, it's very important to have property because that means you literally own a piece of the country. And that's very meaningful. It's meaningful beyond finance and economics. It's, I'm invested in my own civilization here. I own a piece of this physically. It's a very important thing. And we're living in a society now where people are increasingly being turned into serfs, where you have a ruling class that is telling them, no, you fucking won't own anything. We will own everything and you'll rent it. You fucking slave. And no, I don't want, like, the alternative to having people living and owning their homes is neo-serfdom. We are, in a very literal sense, I'm not exaggerating, we are returning to serfdom.
Yeah. Well, and the issue is that the amount of flexibility, like insecurity in an asset, like I said, my house has doubled partly because of COVID. That shit was, that was insane. Like, it's so astroturfed at this point. But when that happened, the value of the house shot up and interest rates were down. So fuck it. I refinanced, and the bank was like, yeah, bro, your house is worth a ton. Do you want to take some extra cash out? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll finish a basement. So like the flexibility of having an asset, it's more than just like a place to live. And like you said, owning a piece of the country or whatever, there's security in it. Like, I could sell this and I would have money if I really needed to. There's flexibility. You can loan against it. There's so much involved in owning a house. Like, I get why the government too much, but I get why they tried to get everybody to own a house back in the early 2000s, because it's a huge deal, but everybody's being shut out of it. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously an easy layup for housing. This next one's not a layup. Next one's a genuine competition. So we're going to have student debt versus AI. All right. So let me get rid of this poll. And our new poll is, which is worse for young people?
This is a tough one because they're bad in their own ways.
That or AI. And I know what you might say, those fucking kids, made their own decision. I find that student loan, the way it operates in the United States, is very predatory. And the fact that you can't get rid of it with bankruptcy is a disgrace. And the interest rates are predatory. Anyway, let me read through some statistics here before we get into it. So student debt. The average student loan debt in America is roughly $38,000 to $43,000 per borrower, with total national student debt reaching $1.7 trillion to $1.8 trillion.
Good Lord.
The average federal student loan is $39,000. Students who borrow for a bachelor's degree take out an average of $35,600. Master's degree, an average of $70,000. Law school, $140,000, and medical school, $200,000. So that is a sort of brief snapshot of student debt.
What's crazy about the student debt is that it's not tied to your major in any way. So it's completely unsecured loan, which is why the interest rates are insane, which makes sense because there's no collateral, which is fine. But the problem is that there's no guidelines on, like, if you want to get a business management bachelor's degree, which is the most it's the associates of arts of the bachelor's world. It's the most generic bullshit. Mm-hmm. There need to be guidelines to where they need to, because they could aggregate those numbers and say, okay, the average person with a business management degree makes X amount of dollars. Therefore, we can only loan you up to this amount, like just like they do with a house. Like you can't say, yeah, I'd like $1 million for this $200,000 house. The bank just won't do it. The collateral's not there. But with student loans, you can tell them, yes, I'm majoring in this generic degree that will not be very valuable, and I would like to borrow $100,000 to do so. And they'll say, yeah, fuck it, go ahead. There's no guide rails whatsoever. It's horrible.
All right, and here's AI. This is actually disgusting. Some of the stuff that I read that I found here. How AI is shaping hiring and headcount in 2026. Survey data and statistics. This data comes from a Microsoft survey of more than 31,000 workers. When asked about their top 3 AI strategies for the next 18 months, 33% of companies said they plan to use AI to take the place of humans. 30% of global executives say they're reducing hiring rates in anticipation of future AI. 38% of employers have reduced the number of entry-level roles at their company because of AI. Big tech companies reduced new graduate hiring by 25% between 2023 and 2024. Startups decreased their new hires by 11%. Nearly 40% of managers say they'd rather have AI do a job than hire a recent graduate. Young people are aware of the job market that awaits them. More than 85% of recent college graduates feel that AI will disrupt their profession in the next 1 or 2 years. So corporate America and just sort of global homo corporate culture in general, they look at graduates as a kind of problem that needs a solution. Like, how do we solve the problem of having to hire and pay humans? In their mind, they're a kind of vermin that needs to be exterminated, and AI is the insecticide. It's just sick. It is anti-civilizational, and it is fucking vile.
Fortunately, I do think that is on the cusp of backfiring. I know Google's hiring a bunch of people back. To be optimistic, I think AI is going to win this one, and it should, because it still is a serious problem. But I do think we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel on that one, because every manager on the planet thought, oh, we'll just get AI to do it. And for the last 2 years, they've been doing it. And a lot of people are seeing firsthand AI hallucinate shit. It makes things up. The code that it writes is not clean at all. Most of the time it doesn't work. You still need somebody to put it together. It sounded great, and everybody started firing people thinking, oh, within 6 months, AI will just be doing all these complex jobs. It's going to be just like Jarvis and Iron Man. It's going to be amazing. And they fucked around, and they're finding out, thank God, that it's just not it writes an email for you. Great. It does my end of year self-evaluation shit, and makes that sound like I did so much more than I really did. But it's actually quite useless, and they are finding that out. Thank God.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a lot of companies over the past couple months that have been showing that, oh, we really over-invested in where we thought this was going to be, and now it is backfiring, and it's showing in the stock value for companies like Microsoft right now. So But like AI is an equal problem because so many people have become dependent on it for their everyday things. So, and then the student debt ties into it because AI is just kind of doing all of the job hiring now. Like that's a problem in the Canadian hiring market right now, is they're just getting AI to review everything. And so everyone gets pushed out if you don't have these specific words, if you don't word your resume in this specific way. So, and then it's pushing people to go back to school because they think, oh, I need to get another degree in order to actually try and get a job. And that job isn't even there 4 years later when they graduate. I'm still going to go with AI.
I agree with you that AI is bullshit. I never believed that AI was legitimate. It's just simulated intelligence. They're just advanced search engines, really, when it comes down to it. It's garbage. But here's what companies are doing. I think these companies know it's garbage at a high level. The executives should know, and especially the people making this stuff, they know, like, this can't do the work of a human. It's not even close to even being able to replicate human level intelligence. It's not even close. They kind of know this, but they're using AI essentially to financially blackmail their workforce. Don't you fucking dare ask for a raise because we can use AI to replace you. Don't you fucking dare offer a new hire a decent salary because we can use AI. I think AI is being used by companies to curb stomp wages, to just keep them suppressed. They know it's bullshit, but it's being used to suppress wages. And don't even get me started on those fucking monstrosities, data centers. Data centers are a crime against humanity.
Well, what I love though, there is a beautiful poetry to the AI. What they're doing to the companies that are using it is what those companies have been doing to us, where it's AI is becoming its own brand of shitification, where, you know, something like Netflix, where they're like, okay, great. Now that we have all these customers, we can start fucking you because where are you going to go? It is beautiful poetry that a lot of these companies adopted AI, and then your Anthropics and OpenAIs of the world started saying, okay, now that you're all using this, the tokens are actually going to start to get more. I'm so sorry. The tokens are going to come up in price. Hate to do that to you, but it is. And you know what? Fuck these people that fired everybody that they thought AI was going to, we'll just use some tokens. Now the tokens are a fortune and they're costing more than actual workers. And they deserve it. They deserve to take it up the ass so dry, so repeatedly. And I hope to God that when they offer the jobs back to people, they just go, that's great. I'll come back, but twice what I was making because you fucked me so hard. You love to see it. You really do.
And that's true. It has backfired massively on a lot of companies. And there's one company, I forget what they're called, but they're basically completely fucked. They were massively overvalued, and it's created this massive bubble. Can't remember what they were called, but yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see this backfiring on all these evil fucking companies. All right, so here is our. Hold on. Here's our next one. Which is worse, degree inflation or stagnant and falling wages? So we'll start with degree inflation. So, 2 seconds. Yeah, college degree inflation. 39 to 40% of American millennials have a bachelor's degree or higher, making them the most educated generation, well, the most credentialed generation in US history compared to prior generations. Business is the most studied degree in the USA, 18.6% of all degrees. So basically, a lot of kids were told, go off, get a degree. The degree is going to be great. It's going to be your ticket to print money. Everybody did it, and the degree is just toilet paper now. It's just fucking worthless.
It's one reason that I feel I can't hate the people that want degree or student loan debt to be, forgiven or something with the government. Like, it's hard for me to get mad at a lot of those people because I'm 41, and I remember when I was in high school 20 years ago, counselors would look at you in the face and all but tell you it's either go to college or die in a gutter. Like, you're going to be a poor piece of shit. You're never going to be anything in life. They scared the fuck out of us. And we were 17, 18 years old. And when your high school counselor and every adult around, my wife's parents told her the same thing. Like, if you guys don't get degrees, you have to. It's a degree or nothing, And none of us were ever told, like, if you have a plumbing certificate, welding, HVAC, any of these types of things, those are middle to upper middle class living. They're very good. They're hard work, but they're good. We were all sold this Mad Men dream of corner offices, and you're gonna, our teachers would tell us, as soon as you, and this is, like I said, this is 25 years ago. They're telling me, as soon as you get out of college, you're going to have a job making $65,000 on average, no problem. The degree will pay for itself. And if you don't get one, you're going to die poor and you'll never be married and your ancestors will be so dishonored. It was insane. So I can't get mad at anybody like 45 or younger who got into all this debt, because every adult in their life lied to them and they were only 18. What the fuck were they going to do?
They gave them no choice. They never showed them that there's so many past, because I had to fall for the same. I got 2 fucking degrees, so it didn't it didn't do jack shit for me, because that was what I was told from everyone. And I have parents that were first generation immigrants, and that was what they were told. If they wanted a better life, if they wanted to leave a third world country, they had to get a fucking degree, and it worked out for them, thankfully, right? But it wasn't the same for my generation.
Like I got so lucky because I was going to school to be a teacher. I was going to be a math teacher or a science teacher, which I feel like I would be well suited for, but I got the personality for it. But I was working in an industrial job and I was making a ton of money, and I was like, fuck it, I'm making money. I was getting married. I was having kids. I better make this money. Mm-hmm. And now I work with pipe fitters and Boilermakers and all, freaking scaffold builders make $100,000 a year. Like, and nobody told me this shit. I lucked into it. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about wages. So wages in the UK have stagnated since 2007. The average and median wages in the US for 2025. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, so median wages in the USA are $62,600, and in the UK they're $52,600. Now let's talk about entry-level wage, because we're focusing on young people here. So the entry-level wage, the average entry-level wage in the United States is $35,000 to $43,000 and $32,000 to $43,000 in the UK. So that's what the sort of general overview of the wage landscape looks like. The problem, of course, is that inflation is so high and the cost of living has risen so massively that the wages are simply not keeping up. So and we've discussed how that the cost of existence has doubled since 2001. Those wages just don't do much anymore at all, really. Good luck trying to raise a family on any of that.
Yeah.
So I think wages is taking this one, so I'll move it over here.
Weirdly, I'm dead even 50-50 between degree inflation and stagnant wages.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. So our last 2 seconds. I need to hide this. So our last one is DEI versus, and this is one that Greg came up with, the loss of the third space. So Greg, can you tell us what the third space is?
The third space is the place that you go that's not work or home. It's a bowling alley. It's a pool hall. It's a cafe. It's just some place. It used to be the mall. It's a place that you go and you just hang out, maybe spend a little bit of money, but it's just, you just go and you be there and not be at work and not be in your living room.
Yeah. And a lot of, I really struggled to find data on any of this. It was all over the place because it could be a pub. It could be a bowling alley. Mm-hmm. It could be, a veterans club or a retirement facility, but basically a place, a mall, like for young people, like back in the day, when I was a kid, I went to youth club, went to a lot of bars and like music venues where I would see concerts and play concerts and open mic nights. Still a lot of it was about, but I would say many have closed since I was a kid.
COVID was the final knife for a lot of those places.
Oh God,
too.
It was terrible. Yeah, I used to go to a pool joint. There were, it was probably 4 dozen pool tables. It was a massive pool hall, and I used to go hang out there, and you could barely see through all the cigarette smoke, and just play a few games of pool. It wasn't that expensive, and it was a great way to kill like 2 or 3 hours with your friends. It was awesome. And I don't think any of them exist anymore. Even bowling. And the problem is the places you have to go, like bowling is fucking expensive now. I try to go bowling with all my kids, and partly it's because there's 8 of us, but also it's just the shoe rental and the actual per hour rate is quite pricey. Bowling used to be the thing you did because you didn't have any money, and it was just a way to kill time very, very cheaply, and it's not cheap anymore.
So which is, you can vote now, everybody. Type number 1 for the loss of the 3rd place, and type number 2 for DEI. Sorry, what were you saying, Vex?
No, I was gonna say, like, just having those other places were just like a good way to develop you as an individual. Like, you learned what things you did or didn't like. You actually went out and interacted with people. Like, you got to kind of like completely separate yourself from the rest of the world. And I feel like that's a key thing that a lot of youth are missing, is like they do all of their, so if they're working a job, they're at a computer. If they're at home, they're sitting in front of a screen watching something or on like playing video games, right? If they're talking to someone, it's also on a screen. There's never an option for all of those things to be completely separate, and that's what these spaces offered. I almost, because if you don't have any of those, then what do you have? You have a society that's completely shuttered. You've actually eliminated a huge part of the human experience without those third places. And a lot of the time, like a mall, for instance, you just go and walk around. You don't have to spend any money.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about DEI. So this was published 2023, but it's very much sort of the same culture.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate America promised to hire a lot more people of color. It actually did. The year after Black Lives Matter protests, the S&P 100 added more than 300,000 jobs. 94% went to people of color. So corporate America hired DEI hires, box tickers basically, at a rate of 94%. 6% went to white men. So if you're a young white guy, really anywhere in the Western world, but particularly the Anglosphere is where DEI is worst.
Mm-hmm.
You're fucked. Like, you're just not going to get into a big firm. Like, they will hire Shaniqua over you, even if she's vastly underqualified. There was a lot of pushback against DEI by the Trump administration. Like, they wouldn't contract with companies that did it, but you know, Hollywood are still doing it. Corporate America is still doing it. It's so ingrained in their culture now. And we talked earlier about how since 2020, out of all new young hires in the UK, only one is just a native British person, and the rest are just third worlders, basically. So DEI, and there are consequences to this. Like we talk about enshittification. A big part of enshittification is hiring people who are shit at their jobs, but you hire them because they're the right color or because they like to get fucked in the ass at a gay club on the weekend, or you know, whatever it is that ticks that box. That's why you hire them. It's a disaster.
You want to know what's something that's kind of crazy? Like, this is because I'm a Canadian, right? So if you're the wrong type of color or the wrong type of immigrant, then you can get denied things. So like I have a very ethnic name, right? I'm 100% purebred Sri Lankan on top of that. But because I was born and raised in Canada, I'm not privy to jobs that are still marked for people of color. I've actually like applied and interviewed for jobs that are just like, oh, we're only looking for people in like that have been in the country for less than 2 years or less than 3 years or have just moved here.
That's
so you have to be the
insanity.
you have to be the right type of immigrant or colored person.
Yeah, I mean, DEI is obviously taking this. It is a cancer upon the earth. All right, so we're into the quarterfinals now. So first up, we've got Infinity Migrants versus Shit Culture. There was a few more stats about Infinity Migrants that I wanted to share with you that I forgot to read out. Okay, so here we go. Right, in 2021, migrants made up 23% of Canada's population. Now, this means first-generation migrants, people who were born abroad, not like people born in Canada, like second, third-generation migrants. So basically, and that was in 2021. God knows what it is now. It's probably well over a quarter of Canada's population now is foreign-born. And this is forecasted to rise by up to 34%. So it's going to hit 34% in 2041. Over the last 10 years, gross long-term immigration into the UK totaled well over 8 million people, while net migration was 4 million. And the new arrivals, 75 to 70% of the new arrivals come from India, Pakistan, China, and Nigeria.
Ugh.
So very much the best of the best there. So yeah, those are. I mean, look, imagine that. Like, it's probably going on a third of Canada's population is foreign-born.
I'd actually
feel like that, Max?
I'd wager it's worse than that because a lot of the numbers are unreported. Like if you go and look at what the trackers are saying, if you base it on kind of like how much the government is spending, most of the immigration numbers have been completely undocumented since about 2018, 2019. And there's they just let them come and go freely on top of that. So there's no system that's actually checking this, especially when it comes to the illegal ones, because those are just the documented ones that are coming in. You can literally kill a whole family of Canadians over here, and you can just freely come and go as you want, man. They won't even fucking persecute you at all. That's actually a thing that happened in Ontario recently. It keeps happening in Ontario, actually. So Canada's done, man. I think it's actually closer to something like almost 50% of Canada, like ethnically, is no longer white now. It's almost a split. And there's some provinces where it's like 30% are white. Like it's all fucking colored people, and it's the worst kind of colored people. I'm gonna say colored people because that's the right fucking term, and I'm colored enough to say it as well.
Yeah. So you get to say that.
Yeah.
See, I still think it's shit culture though, because I don't think that I think you have to have a populace that is so beat down and so terrified to say anything for mass migration to happen like that. Mm-hmm. Because 30 years ago, when you had people, if they're killing a family or whatever, your community would just, you'd have that Irish gal just beating a guy in the street. Yeah. But your shit culture has demoralized people so badly and made them, it's convinced them of critical theory that they were born sinners and horrible and wrong and everything that their country's bad, their skin color, their genitals are bad, they're just evil. And so they should bow down and allow this to happen because that makes reparation for the horrible evil that their ancestors did. So you can't have this without beating people down first. And I think culture is the reason for that.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got, Infinity Migrants is obviously taking this. It's at 90% of the vote. There's only been 20 votes, guys. So if some of you want to go with Greg and agree that it's due to shit culture, type 2 now. But if you think it's Infinity Migrants, just type 1. But the thing is, it's fucking everywhere. It's even beginning to hit South Korea. Like 20% of Ansan now is migrants.
Oh no,
100,000 people, and that's
from what country are they coming from?
A lot of Muslim countries. I think a lot of them are coming from Pakistan now, which is great news because then they might set up the same Pakistani gentlemen's clubs that they set up in the UK to enrich underage girls and little girls.
Oh no.
And then Japan is beginning to have serious problems with these fuckers, these third worlders, as well. So it's just like this pestilence that is just everywhere you go. Like Ireland now is just, it's unrecognizable from when I was a kid. Like Dublin, you used to go through Dublin and you would just see Irish people. Now it's just gangs of Africans everywhere. Like this isn't Ireland. This is not what it's supposed to look like. This isn't how it should be. And we don't owe why are we bringing these people here? They've got an entire fucking continent to themselves. They don't need to be in Ireland. But we know why it's happening. Obviously, it's part of the Great Replacement, which is absolutely real. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's not get too black-pilled. Let's just give Infinity Migrants its victory here. And we'll move on to the next one, which is social media versus increased cost of living. All right. So here we go. Which is worse? So social media is number 1, increased cost of living. I'll just write cost of living for number 2. So which is worse? Social media or cost of living?
I feel like social media probably does, like, in a way it affects the cost of living because social media cons you into thinking that you need a lot more things than you actually do, or that you need to buy this in order to be happy. So it kind of and people are misspending their money now. And also the things that it does to your brain, how it rewires, like your pleasure sensors and all of that. So
like I agree, Vex. I'm actually going to vote right now for social media because I haven't voted on most of these, but I feel strongly about how By the way, guys, social media is number one if you want to vote for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to rig the vote in my favor here. It's because it's a massive waste of time as well. Social media, and it's bullshit. A brilliant phrase I heard recently was, "Social media just extends high school by 50 years." It's like, why would you want this? Why would you want to be comparing yourself to other people and people comparing themselves to you and everybody being fake as fuck online?
Yeah.
It's lame and it's fucking gay. Why do you, it's gay. It's fucking gay. It's for children in the 2010s. Stop it. Grow the fuck up. Anyway, Greg, what do you think?
I think I would say social media affects the cost of living in your mind. It does. Like there's obvious data that shows cost of living is going up and wages are not keeping up. But I think that social media compounds it in your mind because like a lot of people will say like, yeah, if you don't get your coffee, it's $5 and you add that up and it's, whatever, a couple $1,000 over the course of the year. That's still not enough to afford whatever. And that is technically true. The problem though, is that social media has convinced people that they deserve luxuries and extras and whatever. And it causes them they see advertisements all day long. They're just inundated. And if they didn't work, they wouldn't fucking use them. So the constant social media, which is just an advertisement delivery device, is exacerbating the cost of living problem because everybody thinks that they should be having more than they actually need to. Yep. Not that we all need to live like monks, but I think social media adds to it badly. And then you compare yourself to the fakeness that you see on social media. So you feel more behind than you really are.
Yeah, I know. I gave up on social media mid to late 2010s. I can't remember when exactly, but I never posted that much. But it was just do you know what it is? It was just so boring. It's when you actually just stop, it's really fucking boring as well. I don't get what people like. Why do they spend so much time on it? I go onto Facebook for 2 minutes and I'm bored. What is it, Vex? Why can people spend 3.5 hours on this? It's fucking mind numbing.
It's literally a feedback loop. It's just you retrain your brain, and now that's where your dopamine fix is, right? It's seeing, oh, what's the next thing I might laugh at, the next thing I might dream about, the next thing I could like fixate on, kind of deal. In terms of like the cost of living thing, I don't know if you guys heard about like Hailey Bieber's fucking makeup pop-up that came up in Rhode Island last month, or it was June or something, but there were girls that went down to like they booked flights and hotels and all of this stuff to go to Rhode Island for this luxury pop-up for this shitty makeup brand that's been proven to be shit, by the way. It's super overpriced. But they stood out in the summer heat for 4 to 6 hours just to get a glimpse of what is in this store and to get what was potentially promised through all of the social media marketing to them. And it turned out that because the supplies were limited, some of them didn't even get, say, the complimentary like refresher drink that they were promised. And then the influencers that were paid to be there got everything for free, but still had to line up anyways. Like, social media literally like took these people a day out of work and conned them into spending money and wanting things they don't actually need.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get at the end of the day anyways, because they spent an entire day in line.
Look at these two rare looking beings. They're a match made in hell.
It's a promise of something. I think social media has very much become the promise of something and something to aspire to, but like it just keeps you in a feedback loop instead.
He is such a hateable face. All right. Anyway, so social media takes that one. And the next one is going to be cost of housing versus AI. I'll be interested to see which wins this because there's so much hatred towards AI right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone, the poll is up. Type 1 if you think housing costs are worse. Type 2 if you think AI is worse. I have to think about this. I'm not even sure.
I'm going to say housing costs are probably worse because AI is going to, like we already discussed, it's already kind of stuttering a little bit. It's not fulfilling a lot of promises, and
no, you're right. You're right, Max.
Yeah, and it's like the cost of housing, it's still going up. The wages aren't meeting that. People still have to struggle to pay their bills and all that.
Yeah.
Find a place. So yeah, I'm gonna go cost of living.
I mean, if you think AI, The other side of it is if you think AI really is a threat, I mean, I think it's bollocks. I think it's nowhere fucking near the level they claim. But if you think it is, you might think, oh, it's going to make us all unemployed, which I think is bollocks. But Greg, what's your take?
No, I mean, Vex said it all. I can't even add any of that. It's 100% cost of housing for all those reasons.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll not waste too much time on this. Let's just get rid of that cunt and move on. So it's going to be housing versus allow me to explain your country's identity to you and how it includes me. All right. Now we have we've got falling wages versus DEI. This is an interesting one. This one should be quite competitive. So let me get that poll up.
I'm gonna go DEI on this one because they'll hire foreigners because they'll accept the lower wage, so wages will never raise as a result.
You're right. Falling wages, DEI. So the poll's up now. Number one, type number one if you think falling wages is worse. Type number two if you think DEI is worse.
Yeah, I agree with Vex, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Vex is right.
No, you hang up first.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I agree with Vex that DEI, I think, was a thing to obviously at ESG scores, and a lot of the executives did believe it and all that. But there's also a huge component where I do think that it was secretly this amazing thing for corporations to lower wages. And we talked about this wage gap, and then everybody's like, sweet, huge wage gap. We need to hire a bunch of women and pay them less, or make everybody compete with each other for who has the most victim points and who will accept a lower salary. So yeah, it contributed to falling wages massively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hugely. I mean, it's just, do you know what it is? Like mass immigration, it's corporate fucking welfare. DEI, it's corporate welfare because it allows them to fucking annihilate wages.
Yep.
Which is what they want. And it's bizarre that the left support this because it's, they're supposed to be on the side of the laborer. Like in Britain, the traditional left-wing party is called Labour, but they're not pro-Labour. They're anti-Labour. Mass immigration is anti-Labour. DEI is anti-Labour because it vastly increases the pool that employers can select from, which allows them to fucking curb stomp wages.
But Despot, you're forgetting that all of these people now get to eat tandoori chicken on a regular basis. So it's okay.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I can take an L. I can take an L. Vex gave me an L, and I'm taking it.
My poll, oddly enough, had falling wages just a little bit above DEI, but not the absolute destruction of your poll with DEI at 90%. Holy shit.
All right.
DEI may not affect the workforce as much, but it still is very much in the governments that are leading us is the other thing. So even if it might be falling in like media and stuff, it's still a moneymaker. It's still a priority for everyone that's dictating all of these companies and organizations and all that stuff. There's a thing in Canada that's been happening in the past couple of years because all these Indians that come over, they're sold this grand lie by literally a bunch of grifters over in India. So they come over and they take just the first job that they're offered at like pennies to the dollar. And then 8 of them live in a 2-bedroom apartment together. And then they go on like fucking social media and post videos about, oh, here's how you can get free food in Canada. And they go and fucking rob churches for food. There's a great awakening happening even in the bad immigrants.
Yeah. So, well, hopefully. So number one is Infinity Migrants, and number two is social media. We all know what's taking this. I mean, obviously, Infinity Migrants is winning the whole fucking thing, but I do want to see if anyone thinks social media is worse. I don't. I think, look, if we don't have a fucking civilization, if we don't have a country to worry about, then who fucking cares about social media in the first place?
Yeah,
and you won't have a country. Like you really won't. I'm not exaggerating. If we don't stop this suicidal empathy, this corporate welfare, Infinity Migrants nonsense, our civilization's gone. Like, I know it's very black pilling and it's very difficult to fight back against, but you've just, God, fuck. You do wonder when people are going to wake the fuck up.
Still not happening for a lot of people. Still, it's funny because like you'll see like on some of these social media sites, you'll see them like they'll get there. They'll put the dots literally next to each other, but they'll never connect them. Like, I noticed that for a lot of Canadian social media, just like, oh my God, the cost of living is so high. Why aren't we making any money? Where are all the groceries going? And I'm just like, just connect the fucking dot. It's right there.
See, I know I'm in the minority. I'm losing this one, but I still think it's social media, it's shit culture, all that stuff. I think that the immigration thing is downstream of all of that, because you just can't have invasions like you're seeing without a citizenry that is so beat down, so terrified of being called a bigot or a racist or whatever, that they would just shut up and take it. You can't have that without people being completely demoralized first. And then I think that it's obviously a huge problem. It's on the news and everything, but I think this other stuff is that's your root cause right there. We were already fucked before the borders got invaded.
Well, here's I'm not sure I agree with that, because the demoralization, you demoralize people so that they won't resist, but there are plenty of examples in history of mass migration being forced on people who didn't want it. I mean, the Roman Empire brought in vast numbers of barbarians who were fleeing, like the Huns, for example, and the Visigoths, and they would cross into Roman territory to get away from these bastards, and they would say, "Look, we'll fight for you. We'll fight for the Romans, and we'll be a kind of buffer against the Huns. But you have to give us Roman citizenship and let us sort of be on, give us some land." And the locals weren't too happy about this. They didn't want a giant fucking tribe of Goths coming in and storming all over the place. But it didn't matter, because the Romans needed soldiers. So they brought the Goths in, and they just started doing this with massive numbers of tribes. They brought them in across the across southern Germany and into Roman territory, not giving a shit what the actual people that they were ruling over wanted, just completely because the elites needed these people as soldiers and as farmers and to tax them. And it just got into a negative feedback loop and was a major contributor to the destruction of the empire. That said, if they hadn't brought them in, they would have just invaded. So, the Romans were kind of fucked either way.
Oh, sorry, finish your thought. Sorry.
Well, I mean, there's many examples. Even in Japan now, the Japanese aren't necessarily a demoralized people, but they're still having mass migration forced on them.
Like, in defense of social media a little bit too, like, social media is the reason a lot of people are actually waking up to the immigrant problem too. So you can't say it's all completely bad or it's worse. Well, that's one of the big benefits of fucking Twitter getting bought out by Elon, at least temporarily, is that it became a legitimate news source for a lot of people, because it broke all of the migrant news that no other news source was willing to cover. So,
yeah, somebody said feminism should have been on here. The thing is, I'm talking about very specifically for young people. I think feminism is a cancer that just sort of has destroyed all of society.
We're generations deep into feminism now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the worst feminists at this stage are the sort of bitter, horrible 60-year-old hags. And it's kind of I think feminism has peaked and is in the decline, actually, certainly among younger people. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But it's just a sort of cancer, a society-wide cancer, feminism.
I feel like feminism is included with DEI too, because there's a lot of feminist stuff that goes into that. So you can lump it.
All right, so Pajit wins that.
Proto DEI there.
So the other semi-finalist, DEI versus the cost of housing. This one will be interesting. I do think housing takes it, but let me just make this poll here. Okay, which is worse, DEI or cost of housing? All right, vote 1 for DEI, vote 2 for cost of housing. It's got to be cost of housing for me. Greg?
Yeah, I think cost of housing. I mean, it's just such a huge part of people's lives that you can find a way around DEI, but if you can't get a house, it's so hard to start life without a place to call your own and raise a family. Everything is downhill from that.
I'm going to go with DEI here, actually. I'm coming from the Canadian perspective on this, right? Because if you're a Canadian looking to buy a house, there are loans that they will give or offer to specific people if you are of a specific ethnic background. So it's interrelated. And like, again, DEI, if you can't get a good job, then you can't afford a house as well, regardless of what the price of the house is, right? It also is what kind of changes the, ethnic makeup of specific areas on top of that, and makes housing either go up or drop drastically in the worst ways possible. So I'm still going to go with DEI. It has its hands in everything.
Yeah, it's also in the UK and in Ireland, like council houses always go to migrants.
Yeah, there you
Like
go.
you just can't get a house. If you're returning Irish, like returning from abroad, you can't get a mortgage. But if you're, Pajit showing up from India, class signing the dotted line, here's your mortgage. And if we can't get you a mortgage, we'll definitely get you a council house. I mean, you've been here for 4 months. Jesus, got to get you a council house. I mean, fuck the Irish that have been on the council house list for 15 years. Because Muhammad just rocked up and he needs a council house for him and his 3 wives.
I don't know if the numbers have been updated in 2025 or 2026, but in 2024 it was reported that if you were a fresh immigrant to Canada, you could claim $6,000 to $8,000 from the government, and included in that would be housing, just because of your ethnic status.
Well, DEI is, I'm surprised. I thought it would have been housing, but I think because people realize it's in everything, it's in housing as well. It's making housing more expensive. All the council housing is going to migrants in, UK and Ireland, certainly. Do you have council housing in Canada, Vex?
I don't think so, no.
Like government-built housing?
Government-built housing, yes, we do. And they've converted like hotels and stuff to that as well.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, so the final is Infinity Migrants versus DEI. So let me.
Aren't these the same thing?
Well, the thing is, if you just close the borders now, right, and say fuck it, enough. We just want net migration. Just so if you want to leave, you can leave. Nobody's fucking coming in, or very few people are coming in. DEI just sort of withers away, I think, because they can't feed the sort of sludge into the pipeline, like with the H-1B visas and all the rest of it. And yeah, I think it slowly just sort of rots away.
How quickly will it rot away, though?
It might take years, but I think ultimately you're going to get recovery. I think you're going to get a recovery. But if you have Infinity Migrants, you just never get that recovery. But I think once you close the borders, you can begin to fix the problems. But as long as they're open, you're basically fucked.
That's true. But if you have DEI kind of props up immigrants and people flooding the borders anyway. So if you get rid of the DEI requirement, don't you then kind of get rid of the open borders problem?
Yes, you would also have to. I mean, Denmark did this. They got rid of all the DEI bullshit and they stopped giving welfare to migrants. I think migration dropped 75% or something.
Oh, God. Yeah, there we go.
I mean, you're right. If you stop giving free shit to third worlders, they will stop coming. I mean, they're not going to fucking get a job. Do you know what I mean?
Right. But if there's no incentive anymore, they're not going to bother. So you kind of solve the problem if you get rid of DEI.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, humans respond to incentives. So, but it is for the people to decide. I may be a despot, but I do give the people their say. So everybody, type 1 for Infinity Migrants, type 2 for DEI, which is
I typed 1 by accident. Can I change my vote?
What was I'll type 2. I'll type 2 for you because I was going to type. That 1. So,
man. Yeah, migration's winning my poll for sure. I'm with DEI though. I think it led to it and it sustains it. I think, like in Spain, I don't know if you've seen the video of, a bunch of migrants running across a bridge, and there is this 30-year-old white woman standing there with a phone, and she's filming them all, and she's come on in, everybody, in here.
Fucking insufferable. I also seen a video of one of those migrants just randomly stab a guy in the neck and run off, and that.
Oh my God.
I hate those liberal white women. They are a cancer upon the earth.
But yeah, I think DEI is where it's because you get people into positions of power because of it. Your HR departments, the HR departments of government of the world, that's the stuff that leads to those policies. Those policies would, like you said in Denmark, you get rid of that. You get rid of the DEIification. You get rid of the you're all guilty if you don't agree with this. You're all bigots. You get rid of that and give people a backbone again, and they're going to go, what the fuck are these borders open for? This is ridiculous. And they're going to shut that shit down immediately.
All right, so it's still pretty close, everybody. I mean, I think the vote could still swing. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's 37. Oh, hold hold on, let me scroll down here. So it's 24 votes for Infinity Migrants, 18 for DEI. So if you think that DEI is worse, type 2 now. You can still win the poll. And if you want to go for Infinity Migrants, type number 1.
Yeah, migrants are winning my poll too.
Migrants was favorite going in. What's your poll looking at, Greg?
56% migration right now.
Yeah, mine's 57%. So did our polls differ on any of the votes?
There were a handful. I'm looking back here. I think I had cost of housing. My poll had cost of housing beat out AI just a little bit, and cost of living beat out social media a little bit. I think there was only 2 of them that mine differed, but they weren't.
By the way, guys, Infinity Migrants is only winning by 3 votes on right now. So if you want to jump in and type 2, you can get DEI to take it. So it's still very close.
Yeah.
Did you vote, Greg?
Yeah, I voted for DEI because I think it's the source of it.
Okay.
I
think migration is the symptom. You're looking at the symptom there.
I feel like people have forgotten that DEI is more than just like putting colored people in movies and stuff like that. Like it is a systemic problem.
Yeah,
you know what's
you're
crazy?
Right. It's society wide. Like the problem with I don't know fucking Belfast is that there are too many white Irish people here. What the fuck are white Irish people doing in Ireland? Where are all the Italians?
What you should do, I don't know if either of you watched Shoe on Heads, a kind of a big channel. She just did a video looking back at videos of her own from like 12 years ago, talking about some of the social justice warriors and all that kind of shit. And it was crazy. I was watching that video the other day, and she's reacting to these videos like the red-haired gal, the redhead Karen that you've seen on a million thumbnails. Like that's 10 years old. Like
that's crazy.
A lot of this stuff, I don't think people realize that these are not new issues anymore. This crap's been going on for a long time.
Very long time. Yep.
Well, I think DEI just about has it. So
yes.
It's 30 votes for DEI, 25 for Infinity Migrants. Greg, what's your poll showing?
Oh, I've got 21 votes total. I don't get to see individuals, but 60% out of 22 now is mass migration for me.
Oof.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I think we're going to have to call this one a tie.
I agree.
I think a tie is fair because they're so interconnected. It's like a sort of shit loop where just one pile of feces feeds the other pile of feces and they go around in a loop.
Sort of a cultural centipede, if you will.
Yeah, it's like just this degradation loop. So I guess we'll just have to call this one a tie. As unsatisfying as that may be. All right. So yeah, that's it. That's it for today, everyone. The next Greg and Despot show will be hosted by Greg. We take it in turns. So it goes Greg, Despot, like that. So if you have any we're gonna go through some super chats now. So if you have any suggestions for topics, or if you want us to do any more polls, just let us know in the chat and Greg will consider them for the next one.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me get into the super chats before we finish. All right. So Greg Owen, 2022, gifted 5 Greg Owen memberships.
Oh, yeah. Gonna have a member stream on Saturday.
Yes, Nachansi, $10. Will vices like smut, gambling, legal weed, and brain rot being everywhere now be a contestant in the... Well, we did basically social media. I mean, smut, I suppose you mean porn. Gambling, a lot of gambling is social media based. Like people are pulled into it by social media. Legal weed. Weed is obviously... tie
that into cost of living because people spend a lot of money on that. Yeah.
I mean, legal weed's just it's a vice for losers. What do you want? It's not necessarily... I don't know how prominent it is, but stop smoking weed. You're a fucking loser.
Oh my God, it's so bad in America. I'm a libertarian, and I would give my card up if we outlawed that shit. I can't go to Walmart without the whole place smelling like a fucking armpit. I just it's embarrassing for me because I'm like, yes, less government, and now I'm like, nope, I was wrong. We need more government. We need a bad idea. This is fucking terrible.
It's like if you're gonna do that to yourself, you've got no one to blame but yourself. It's not a generational thing. It's not like it's not my fault. I'm a weed smoking loser. What? Anyway.
People don't realize most of the weed that circulates these days in the West is not the same weed that hippies were smoking in the 70s. It's almost always laced with something a lot harder.
It's all like chemical factory made garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Angerius says, why do Western countries want so many immigrants? Because they enrich us with their diversity.
With their good food as well. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Joey Bag of Donuts for $1.99. How can you be taking supper cuts? I don't understand the question. What does that mean?
It's a B sub joke.
Joey might be high too.
It's just because there's a battle of the super chats and it somehow became supper cat, and now there's a supper cat off every Monday. Yeah.
All right. Greg, I'm libertarian. Oh, also Greg. Oh no, the consequences. All right. Well, on that note,
not like that though.
He's a libertarian on the issues he wants to be a fucking libertarian on. Okay,
right.
That's how this works.
If we were if this was a real libertarian country, you wouldn't have assault laws, and I could punch motherfuckers who are stinking up the Walmart. So if we really did it my way, there'd be public beatings.
Goddamn,
and then we wouldn't have this shit.
All right. Well, we've been going for a while, everybody. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment if you want us to do more polls or if you just want us to stick to movies, shows, entertainment, music, video games, all that shit. But anyway, I just thought we'd do something a bit different today. So thanks very much, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. And thank you very much, Vax, for guesting.
My absolute pleasure.